What we have seen yesterday, these two teams already faced, and RG was able to take out Mayhem. The big question for today is obviously just whether or not Mayhem is going to be able to adjust. It's possible this map will be better for them. I believe I saw these teams playing on Station yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't think I saw these two teams play each other yesterday. So I didn't see the game myself, but I do know that RG won. And as we get started here, we will see how the teams adjust. It looks like Mythic's been a very aggressive player and been one of the top fraggers for Mayhem. So I believe he's going to push Barber. I did see him playing Barber yesterday, I believe. I could be wrong. Dictator is going to get Glanton. Seth is going to snipe Nero. We'll take a look at him yesterday. Next round. Django and takes out my son while Mythic dies to David from Lower Kebab. Seth here with the sniper was able to get an early pick, but now he is left last alive as RG was able to take out his entire team very swiftly. We check out where everybody is. We've got Gerb sitting on B and the rest of his team blue and A side. So Seth is going to have to look for some picks here. He has a gun that can do it, but frankly you usually don't want a bolt action rifle this late in the round. Now, it's not very usual for Gerbs for a player to be sitting in B. Seth able to take out Gerbs through what we were seeing as the dust kicked up by those bullet impacts. Now, the players have different settings than I usually run, and so they may be able to see things, you know, just because their effects may be turned down and their you know, bullet impacts may not be showing as much of a dust pattern when they, you know, using their graphic settings. But it's still an excellent shot under fire, and it looks like Mayhem has immediately called the timeout. This one seems to be technical. Somebody crashed out, which is unfortunate. But they will get that situated, and we will see. Looks like Seth was able to get 2 kills as we saw. I don't think anybody else on their team did get a kill. Yeah, because only 2 deaths on RG's side. So what we saw there was Seth sitting at construction, sniped somebody, probably going Barber, possibly somebody going Seaside. But he was able to get a snipe down Main Street. And then Gerbs chilled in the helicopter. 2 of his players played under or on the blue bridge, and he had a teammate over by A. So if RG doesn't adjust, they're playing a relatively weak side, C-side, which isn't unusual for this map. Usually you put one lower Barber, and the rest of your team sort of starts at Kebab and works their way across the bridge. But you will see some teams send players over here to C. That can give you flanking options. It can also just put the pressure on the insurgents to either split up and play B and C, or at least give you a respawn coming once you actually are able to cap the objective. Now, in terms of what went wrong for Mayhem, I didn't get a chance to see what a lot of them were doing. Mythic was able to get to the Barber stairs, but was taken out, and or over towards Barber and was taken out, and I didn't really see where the rest of them are going. The usual play is one into shops, one into B, one into Africa, but we'll see this round where everybody's going. I'm going to pop on with Seth to begin the round, because I want to see what sightline he's using and whether or not... Oh, Seth has switched off the rifle. See? Immediately just realizing that it's not worth sort of limiting himself late in the round. You can pick up other weapons, but you're never going to get more ammo for them, so it's still tough. Pistols in this game are strong enough to work with, but obviously, especially at range, you just don't have the rate of fire and the recoil control to really contest with the rifle. Let's see what Gerbs is doing. He's going to smoke B right away. Now, this is a new sort of tech that the community has discovered. And this sprinting while the grenade is out, I don't believe they lose any speed when they do that. So that's multiple smokes coming in. We see... Oh, I can pop on X-ray. That should have been done a long time ago. So we see one player here at the red truck. Gerbs doesn't know about him, but he's going to crawl down into this divot and get cover from that top Africa player. You see David is able to take out Mythic. Oh, and quickly Django and Nero followed up with 2 more kills. And that top Africa player is under fire. They know he's there. Now, we heard a ping. That came from red truck. That nade was meant to hit those boxes in front, the pills. But no kill there because Gerbs is hiding down here. Glanton is able to take out Django, equalizing. Still sitting on B, but it is a 2v4. And David gets taken up by QR code. Sorry, David takes out QR code. QR code top Africa. And now Glanton, see, he's been suppressed and they've heard him, so he's basically stuck. And what I'm expecting to see is somebody rotate around and pinch him from behind. If not, Gerbs basically just sprang, yeah, making noise. Gerbs, not able to penetrate that cover with the MP5, but by spraying and making noise makes it much more difficult for Glanton to even realize that David is coming behind him. David takes him out. Easy second round for RG. So far, we're not seeing enough resistance from Mayhem. They're going to have to adjust and basically just not die so early in the round. We're seeing a lot of quick deaths out of Mayhem, and what we really need to see is them survive, take a position. Obviously, win gunfights, like that helps, but it may be the positioning or the lanes they're choosing to play is hurting them more than even just the fact that they are dying in the gunfights, because all gunfights are going to be somewhat of a toss-up if you're not smart about it. So my son here looks like he's going to pistol rush into what I assume will be a shops play. He's going to get across the road. No pre-fires or cross picks coming in, so he will get to Yellow Bridge and be able to lock out. He will see and takes a nice shot onto Django, dodges the nade, and will now go up to Yellow. Meanwhile, we see Glanton getting onto B. This is an interesting choice because once this smoke fades, he's going to be much more exposed than he wants to be. Meanwhile, Nero and Mythic. Mythic is just to his right, but he doesn't see him. It'll be interesting to see if Mythic sees him. Mythic down below and not looking up yet. He's going to creep behind. David does take out Glanton on B. As I said, once the smoke clears, he's going to be very exposed. Mythic is on this flank. Dictator takes out QR, and Seth gets Dictator. Mythic will clear B. Doesn't see the player top Afro. Oh, that's a friendly top Afro. Doesn't know this player is White Truck next to him. We'll look at Nero. Nero looking for this player. Doesn't see him. It's a 3v1, I believe. Yeah, 3v1 in Mayhem's favor. Nero had no idea Mythic had snuck by him or where Mythic was. Mythic didn't seem to understand where David was either. They were running in opposite directions, but at least Mayhem is able to seal the victory on that round. Good round out of Mayhem. Much better form, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a couple of them surviving, getting into the late round, and being able to pick off those players. I'm not convinced Glanton's positioning on B is doing his team any favors. There are safe positions you can play. The first round he played Red Trucks. He may not have, or the second round he played Red Truck. He may not have wanted to repeat that, but he can play pillars. You can also sit farther back in pills. You don't necessarily. You can also go for the helicopter even, but you don't necessarily want to put yourself in a position where once that smoke clears, you're just going to get sniped. Let me double check whether or not Seth is... Oh, hang on. David with a sniper now. Let's see. Because nobody's smoking. He does see one. He will miss that first shot, but he's going to look and see. Nice hit out of him onto Glanton. That is their B player. I don't think he saw that player dropping to go Africa, but he's now going to look at the angle. There is a player, what looks like on yellow. No, that's in construction, and David will see him moving. Motion, there's fog, so motion is much easier to see than somebody sitting still. My son is able to get a kill. Gerbs, flanking, is able to kill Seth. My son will come behind him and try and find him. It looks like Gerbs is onto the fact that he's being flanked, or at least just taking precaution. My son heard Gerbs move, and so now we wait for him, but Gerbs is going to get the better of it, and that leaves just QR Code. QR Code we saw struggling a bit yesterday, but towards the end of the day was doing a little bit better, and we'll have to see if he can perform today, especially in clutch situations like this. Now, you know, Gerbs top yellow there, as you see on the screen with the MP5. And nobody rotating to C yet. But they are just holding B. They're not capping either, which is a little bit strange that they wouldn't put the pressure on time-wise. But it is a 4v1. They aren't under much pressure to begin with, the security RG to begin with. But if QR can find 1 or 2 kills, this may change the game significantly. And again, I'm just surprised we don't have somebody from RG rotating to C. They are capping B now. We see Gerbs peek and find QR Code before QR Code can react. But still, a little bit interesting. They sat, I believe that was David back in spawn. He got the 2 great kills out of the beginning, and that's why on this map, this long sight range, there's fog at a certain distance, and so without those high-powered scopes, it's very hard to see anybody, especially if they don't move. Though motion does make it a little bit more noticeable. But David sat there for another minute or 2 after he got those 2 opening kills, and I would have expected maybe a rotate either to help and fight for Barber, or even just to get over to C and put the timing pressure on. But obviously RG, you know, knew they were at a significant advantage 4-1, and just decided to be passive and let QR Code move and expose himself eventually, as he did. So 3-1 now, as we see. This is your scoreboard between rounds. My son going to push over towards Barber, was successful at locking down the position early, but then wasn't able to get the kill on Gerbs, even though he knew he was there. Now he's going to sit. He's going to dodge the grenade, and this time he will get Gerbs. It's huge. Gerbs on the flank, very dangerous. Mythic will get Django after Django takes out Seth. It looks like they're going to do an A play. Pushing into A is Mythic. He will get here safely. Glanton is on B. My Son able to take out Dictator in the courtyard. I don't know if he knows a player is here or if he's just being careful, because it's, you know, this is how they would rotate if they were going to go A. Nothing doing there. David kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. They have to be careful in A. If he gets a sightline under that player, he'll obviously take him out, but that player should stay down. Nero able to find a kill on QR code. I don't think that was the B player. Yeah, it wasn't. Oh! B and A both capped up at the exact same time as Nero tries to jump down to contest B, but that gives Mayhem the win for capping all 3 objectives. That's very rare when there's still people alive, especially that early. You know, sometimes if a single player is alive and he gets his rotation wrong. But just tricky timing, and RG was a little bit slow to react and try and actually get on the objective, and that leaves Mayhem just with a win on captures, even without killing everybody. Very interesting to see. So yeah, the A play, not unusual. A couple people pushing past shops, maybe through the alley, getting over to A. That's normal. What I was sort of more expecting once that happened, once they know 2 or maybe even 3 players are on this side of the map, RG should have pushed a little harder to either clear B or at least get one over to C to compensate. But again, it happened very quickly, and the cap times are not too long, so interesting to see. It looks like that Mayhem's going to do a much more standard spread, sending 2 people over towards Barber. Gerbs is going to push out onto B. My Son is able to take out Django, but Seth flanks around quickly and gets Gerbs off of the B objective. Look at this. Seth is flanked all the way up into Barber, and there is a player above him. It looks like Nero is going to look out onto B and try and get some people. Doesn't see the head immediately. Takes fire, but is able to duck away and not die. But he's now called out, and David trying to secure it. Nero's going to jump down. There's a player right behind him, so Seth will take him out. Oh, hang on. Dictator pushing up into yellow. He will get one shot. He sees another one down. That's a nice double kill. Seth takes out David in his spawn, though. And I believe that puts it into a 1v2. Yes. So we see Seth there. My Son, I believe, behind Dictator as we speak. Dictator using the box to hide himself as he peeks. Yeah, My Son is creeping behind. He knows Dictator's here. Seth almost shooting My Son. Seth is now on B contesting it, so the progress will not change. Cap progress won't change. And My Son's basically just going to sit here silently, wait for Seth to make some noise, and then peek out and shoot Dictator at the back. Dictator basically not aware that My Son is there, obviously, because he's been silent, and unable to react quick enough because, you know, it's almost instant once you peek like that. All right. So that puts us at 3-3. Mayhem's doing a good job of fighting back. I don't know if they're making the adjustment or if RG just got lucky in the first couple rounds. It's obviously could be a combination of both. RG, Gerbs plays very aggressively, and we've been seeing him push out. And some rounds he gets an early kill either in shops or on B, and some rounds he just gets taken out. And that's what happened this round. He got taken out on B, basically just running aimlessly through a smoke. And that hurts his team because he's one of their big slayers. He's also one of their more aggressive players. A couple of the RG players, Nero and David, are much more passive. They're willing to sit back with a rifle and wait for enemies to expose. That's fine, but if you have nobody who's willing to be aggressive, you run out of contesting the people who are willing to contest the objective, or you push people out of their comfort zone. That was a nice nade out of Gerbs, except he cooked it a little too long. Didn't actually fall. Now, David does get a kill onto Mythic. Nero, Seth is creeping up behind Nero, but they won't come face to face in a moment. My Son holding this staircase doesn't know, probably doesn't know that Django is right next to him. QR code playing the bridge. He's going to stick himself out and get taken out by Gerbs on B, actually. Gerbs using, I guess, this bush. Yeah, Gerbs hiding in a bush. So, you know, bush Wookiee strat. Seth does take out Nero. Is now going to peel up, but there's a player behind him. David not able to find him. So he will, Seth will escape. Now Django is creeping around. However, Glanton, I believe, is there ready for him now. Seth, it looks like in yellow, yes, in Africa, ready for him. So this is an excellent rotate from Seth. Takes one out in Barber. Is able to rotate back around to Africa. Knows there'll be an enemy player coming. But look at this. David was able to get all the way over to C. He's now 50% capped. Gerbs in the bush takes out another player off of Yellow Bridge. And now Glanton exposed and was killed. So David will cap C, My Son will cap A, and the B cap, they may cap it or they may just get it to 99%. They may just get it to 99% and leave it so that they have another cap coming when some of them die. My Son will try and hold. He's going to move after seeing the first player not not shoot the second player. Now we'll get the kill. That's 2 down after the capture, so there's only 3 left. We are going to see David go for the spawn camp. Gets 2, 1 before I switch screens, but he's now pulling back and looking to defend C. Elsewhere, Django does kill Myson on A, so it's just these 2 players leaving spawn. David will get a 3rd. That leaves it to be just QR code. He will find David. He's going to get on A, and so we're going to see another spawn trading, but B... Oh, time is out. So he doesn't know that B is left uncaptured. They either don't know their count properly or they just think it's important. But it's going to take him far too long to decap B, and A is still capped 75%. So he's going to go have to challenge this A player. Unfortunately, A is going to be capped before he can even get there, and he's been spotted. So he really is in a difficult spot now. He's got to find that kill, and by going to A, he's basically giving up on the round. I mean, he's going to fight for it. This is probably the right play, but he's got 4 people coming out of spawn he's got to remember. Now, none of them have rushed into A. They have plenty of time, so they're going to play it slow because they can just go get B and C. See, QR code realizing this is now going to rotate. Sees 1, will start shooting, gets 1 kill, but he doesn't know there's another player. Pillars, and that will be it. That's a very good round out of both teams, but especially that spawn camp out of, I think it was David, David is I know what his real name is, but David's spawn kill, very nice, able to get 3 kills and delay the Mayhem's ability to get a spawn significantly. Give me 1 second. All right. So it is 4-3. Good round out of both teams. Glanton struggling a bit. QR code struggling a bit. Mythic, I'm surprised, but he's struggling a bit. Over on RG's side, Nero struggling a bit, but everybody else doing decent at least. And let's see what Gerbs is going to do this time. He's been throwing this smoke on B every round, and it seems like both teams are smoking B, and it may be that one of the teams stops. Oh, nope. See, this time, Mayhem choosing not to smoke instead. Going to pick Gerbs, who's been throwing the smoke. Mythic also pushing up Barber and getting a kill. However, Django has gained control of Yellow Bridge. Will peek up. They killed 1. Will clear it. Does not see the player Rugs. Dictator does kill Mythic and Barber. There is a player in Africa now, so Django has to be careful, but he's going to jump down in time to be safe. He's now in red, but they heard him. Dictator clears B, killing Glanton, who's at Rugs. And QR code now needs to find 3 kills. Sees 1. That's a nice sliver of an enemy to see. Unfortunately, now he's given away his position. B is being capped by 2 players, so he doesn't have long if he wants to contest. That gunfire should tell him there's one in the helicopter, which he does see, and he will take out, so there's only 1 left. But he's going to run across the gap! Chooses at the last second to turn around. So, just by luck, he does now know where the player is, approximately red truck, but he's got to touch. He's only got about 4 seconds, 5 seconds to touch. He is going to... No, he's not! He doesn't get on the objective quick enough, and that's 5 up. He doesn't see this player red truck. He didn't realize that the player was red truck, and so he does get taken out. But he almost had that. That was a great end of round for QR code. If he had simply just sort of recognized from the audio, or even by just spotting a sliver of him at the end there, that the player was red truck. If he had touched the objective quickly, he could have been contested at like 95% capture and just waited it out, found a way to get the shot off. It was a very close round. So it's now 5-3. RG is up, but not by a lot. This is perfectly doable. Even if RG wins another round, I always say like 6-4 is a perfectly normal, perfectly doable score line at halftime, and you can always have a chance, or a completely realistic chance to win at that point. So we'll see. I'd like to see Mayhem get a couple more rounds. Based on how they've been playing, I think they'll manage that. We've been seeing Gerbs do some early moves. Seth last round went to connector and did a pre-fire. We do see David sniping, gets Myson crossing the street. That's brutal because Myson... Oh, and he gets Glanton! That's an excellent 2-piece out of David with the bolt-action sniper rifle. We also see QR code get taken out by Django. I should actually capture some of this on camera before the round is over. QR code is able to frag Django in response. Now, Mythic is going to go hunting this sniper, but David was ready for him. Reaction time, unfortunately, not good enough to get the kill. Seth hunting around over here. Now, we heard David pull that pin and throw a nade. The nade is not going to get Mythic, so Mythic will go hunting. But as we see, Dictator has rotated to support his teammate, and so now Mythic obviously gets taken out. Seth is last to the left. What we have here is a 4v1, and it looks like they're going to come challenge him immediately. Gerb sneaking up behind. Probably will get taken out. No, he does hear him coming. Turns around. Also heard the pistol shots from the front. Runs out in the open, and David is ready, so takes him out with a Makarov. round MVP, I agree with the game, is definitely David. Those 2 early picks, it not only gets kills, but it also is intelligence, because you tell your team that the players running those positions are not alive anymore, so they know they've killed the B player. That's the easy one, that was Glam. But when David kills my son running across the street, he's also watching the street. He knows nobody else is crossing to go play shops, and so somebody like Gerbs or Django is able to play much more aggressively over by yellow stairs and shop stairs and get up onto the yellow bridge. So one of the reasons that sort of a scoped sniper can be better than just spraying a full mag of AK ammo through a smoke cloud is you actually know if you get the kills usually, and you can tell whether or not enemies are going to be at certain positions so that your team can adjust accordingly. Having said that, a kill is a kill, so if all you can do is spray through smoke because people are throwing smoke, it's not so bad. Looks like David dropped the sniper rifle and is instead using the M14. Sees a player running across a yellow bridge, chooses not to try and flick him. Seth getting a good kill on Django. My son pushes down yellow stairs, looks towards A, would have seen a player if he'd held steady for a second longer, but chooses to rotate back. Gerbs, as usual, playing aggressive. Nero and Dictator get kills off the objective, so that puts it into a 3v4, I think. Oh, Gerbs walks out in front of Glanton, so Glanton's able to get a kill. My son watching A will not see anybody over there because all of RG is now rotated back. It looks like Dictator has been spotted. Either that or the person top Kebab was. Dictator will now rotate back. It'll be interesting to see if my son hears him and gets him as he comes forward. Yes, my son is ready. Glanton sees the player top Nero. Now, we do have David over on C making capture progress, but Nero here playing peekaboo with QR code on top yellow. Now, QR code's got to go somewhere. They should know, if they have the count properly, that the last player is C. They're not going to get there in time to stop that cap. It's too hard to run across the open. So this is a smart play. He's going to hop on B, and the only question I have is whether they will cap both objectives. You can cap one, leave the other almost fully capped, and that way you have a second respawn coming, or you can cap them both to put the pressure with 30 seconds left for the enemy team to actually contest. And it looks like they are going to... See, QR Code was trying to get off the objective. He actually failed. So that's a quote-unquote mistake based on his team's planning. He will see Nero, able to take that out, then gets taken out by Dictator, pushing out a spawn at the end of the road. But instead, we have Mai, who's very important, needs to try and hold A. And on the other side of the map, David is going to try spawn camping again. Mythic kills David without dying. Nobody died, as far as I'm aware, to David. And that's huge. My son will also get Gerbs off of A. One more player here, and my son knows that, but he can slow this down because his team should be flooding out of spawn. Yes, we see 2 people on B and 1 capping C, so regardless, RG is in the hot seat. They have to make the moves here. My son hears the nade. He's going to go for the flank. It looks like the player didn't hear him. My son hears him, so my son will get the kill on Django. That's huge, leaving just Dictator alive against 3. He's contested on B, knows there's a player above him, doesn't see the red truck player. He tries to get the shot on the player he hears top Kebab. He's not able to find an angle. Seth takes him out, and that's a fantastic round out of Mayhem, 6-4. That's a good halftime scoreline. Obviously, RG with the advantage, but frankly, it's a small one, and this is perfectly practical for Mayhem to pull a comeback out of. Quick update on scoreboard. Nero struggling a little bit. Django, not terrible, not bad by any means. Again, this is a team game, and it's all about supporting your teammates. So just because your objective player may die more often, or you may have one person getting a few less kills, doesn't necessarily mean they're not contributing. Glanton a little bit low here. This is where it starts to get difficult, because he's clearly been shot a bunch of times, so he is dying, but he is also sitting on B almost every round. This is one thing we saw with Mayhem yesterday. Glanton, when playing B, tends to sit on B in an area he cannot be that active from. He's usually stuck once the smoke clears or whatever positioning he's got to begin with. He tends to not be in a position he can rotate from. He tends to not be in a position that he can protect himself from. So he dies a lot. He's basically just a placeholder on the objective, not able to support his teammates or defend himself as much as maybe the RG players like Gerbs do when they sit in a bush and keep their gun up and try and respond when people peek them. It does also lead to more risk if Gerbs gets peeked from the wrong angle. Oh no, Mythic with the bolt action rifle. I was expecting him to get there quickly and try and snipe the road like David's been doing, but unfortunately he stops for a second. That's going to slow him down. Oh, he does see! Now, if there's fog, it's even worse probably than it looks like on my screen. And so motion, oh, he sees him, but he doesn't get the shot off, and that's going to scare the player away. The player's going to run off, but that is, oh, David's back. He's running ground level, so he's not going to get seen. Mythic almost getting that kill. QR Code pushes across Blue Bridge, but Nero is playing this head glitch staircase, waiting for him. Glanton has crept onto B. This is a much safer spot, and he is taking a more active angle. Nero gets another kill onto top Kebab. That's very difficult. Now he's going to drop and be spotted. Glanton not able to get the kill. Sprays a little bit. Ducks now. He will try and nade over the top, but he's exposing his left side, so Dictator will take him out. My son on the big flank. Django takes out My Son and Shops. Nero takes out Mythic, and so that is a, I think, 5. I think, yeah, I'm not convinced anybody on Mayhem got a kill that round. Regardless, not a great round, and Mayhem's obviously going to have to adjust. But more importantly, Mythic with those opening snipes almost got David. Was not able to actually connect with any of the shots, unfortunately. But that could have been huge if he had connected with those. Regardless, what we need to see, that blue bridge really killed him. Nero getting 2 kills across the blue bridge. If the security team, Mayhem here, can't control their own bridge, it's going to be very difficult for them to fight for B. And so, hopefully, I would hope that they put somebody better, or just put somebody, period, into Barber, who can survive. But see, they're going to play this heavy left side, this heavy A side position, and Seth, maybe he'll push across the bridge and try and get the Barber. Doesn't look like he's going to. He's going to play the mid-street, and he does see a player crossing, but without... Oh, Mythic is getting into Barber. Okay, this is what we needed. But he's going to go play C. He's not going to contest this staircase at all. So Nero is going to... Oh, but jumping down is QR code. That's a good way to do it. However, oh, Gerbs does take out My Son. Dictator takes out Glanton, both with frags. So those are good throws out of them. Dictator's going to be able to get on, and we see some spraying coming in at Seth, who takes his position top. Oh, sees the player horseshoe, takes him out. That clears B. We do see a player flanking, though. This is Gerbs. I think he has a... Is that a 74 instead of an AKM? Regardless, he is creeping up. He hears Seth take out David from above. So I believe it's just Gerbs now. Yes, against 3. He will touch B, and that means the person above him is probably going to peek down. And yep, but Gerbs is ready for that, and so expects it. He doesn't know the players at White Truck, though. And so at some point, Gerbs is probably going to walk into his view and get shot. He is peeking under the truck, but the player doesn't see him, and so Gerbs also able to take out QR code. That's an excellent clearing of the objective. However, C was capped in the meantime. I missed that. Mythic went over and capped C. Now sees Gerbs laying there and will take him out. But also, even if Mythic had not found Gerbs necessarily, the 2 players coming out of spawn should have been able to come in, help clear B. That was a comfortable win for Mayhem. However, they are down 5-7. They're going to need to be consistent for the rest of this half if they want to, you know, want to come out with the victory. Again, this is game 1 of 3 in this best of 3. So these teams will play Station next, and then if needed, they will play a tiebreaker map of District. But again, obviously, winning is winning, and so both teams are trying to do that. I don't know which team necessarily picked this map because they do a pick and ban system, but especially if this isn't... Well, whoever didn't pick this map, pulling out a win would be huge, because I'm sure that the second map will be to somebody's advantage, having been picked by them. It isn't unusual in these best of 3s to see the teams who pick each map do well at those maps. We see David doing this cross-pick spray. Unfortunately, oh, Nero is able to take out QR code and Barber. So waiting for that drop down and then getting him. Oh, Dictator sees Glanton crawling, takes a hit, but the box saves him. My Son takes out David. Mythic takes out... Sorry, My Son takes out Django. Mythic takes out David. We do have Gerbs sitting here, but he gets spotted from A, or those boxes. Oh, knows another one's coming, but Mythic teams up with Mai to get him. Nero does still control the blue bridge. He's been fantastic on this side of the map, getting double kills earlier in rounds. There is Dictator on B, unable to get the kill. Nero does take out Mythic on top shops, and so now, looking for that B player, didn't see him by the concrete blocks. Now B is being capped. Nero will get an audio cue when it transitions to 0% and starts capping for the blue team, so now he knows somebody is on B. Seems to think there's somebody here in Kebab, and he's not wrong, but they're downstairs. He is looking at the concrete block. That jump made noise, so My Son should know where he is. I'm surprised. Oh! Turns at the wrong moment. Seth is able to rotate up, probably based on the call-out made by My Son, and clear Nero off the bridge. And that's another good round for Mayhem. Again, momentum is everything now, especially as you get down to tight round count. You'd be surprised just how much the mental aspect of this comes into play. When you start getting down to being at like 9 or 10 rounds winning, the other team gets put into a position where they tend to act, I don't want to say recklessly, but they feel the pressure of having to win, and so teams... it's purely out of anecdotal evidence, I would say. I think most teams tend to do worse when they're facing, you know, a 0 to or something to 9 scoreline, or something to 10 scoreline. And so it's very good that Mayhem hasn't put themselves in a position where RG has got, you know, 9 wins already, because you know, it can be disheartening, and frankly, I think it actually does make teams play worse. Seth is going to excellently take out David, but, sorry, take out Dictator, but David, I think that was just a spray. I don't think he was seeing the enemy. is able to take out Seth in response. So that's all even trades. The flashbang, that's an interesting choice, but Gerbs is able to get into Horseshoe. He's actually going to push up even more. The smoke is covering him, but this is risky, but it could pay off. If he's able to break through and get behind people, that's going to be huge. My Son and Mythic. Mythic going for the big flank to try and find David. QR code kills Nero in Barber. That's huge, but unfortunately, I don't think they know Gerbs is behind them. Gerbs is going to get this kill on blue. Yep, easy peasy. Now, David also killed Mythic, who was going for the big flanks. David is now going to escape towards A, and My Son is going to go try and take him out. Gerbs make a ton of noise, but knows the player is in pillars, drops down, takes a hit. My Son is able to kill David, and the cap happened before Gerbs was able to jump down. Gerbs not getting there in time, so the respawn happened. Gerbs touches B for a minute and then backs off. He's now sitting lower, well, near Kebab. Kills one. Teammate doesn't make a good call out, so Mythic runs right into another death. Unfortunately, QR code is going to rotate, get to see. Gerbs knows there's a player about to come facing him head on, so Seth, unfortunately, running into his death as well, hunting for this player. Not sure it was necessary to face him head on. You could have just lurked and let Gerbs move around and eventually killed him, because your teammate is going to get another cap. Unfortunately, Gerbs, he decides he doesn't have time, chooses to go for the play, but I'm not sure what he's going to do, because capping B, it's certainly closer to, or farther from the security spawn. It'll make it easier for Gerbs to stay alive, but I don't know. The security team's going to go to A and decap. Gerbs now has to somehow contest 2 objectives, and QR code very quickly rushing to B, which is a great way to put Gerbs under pressure. I think Gerbs has realized that he has to leave, and so he's not even going to finish the cap, but unfortunately, not only did he have to leave, he actually had to get to A and defend it. And with 3 or 4 players coming in, that just is not practical. So Gerbs loses that round, or, RG overall loses that round. And that is our first tie game of the day. First tie of this match, which is interesting. Mayhem have been coming from behind up until now, but finally we see the scores equalized, and it's possible Mayhem may pull ahead. I would say that the momentum and the trend for this match is obviously in their favor, but RG definitely seems less comfortable on this side. That round would have been completely hopeless if Gerbs didn't sneak through and get multiple kills on what was a fantastic flank, but the overall strategy and team cohesion has been better for Mayhem here. They are doing a heavy smoke strat, which lets them get up the road without getting hit. That is still subject to pre-fires and just spraying. Oh, Glanton a little bit visible here. Nero does get the kill onto QR code. That's a back and forth they've been having in Barber the whole time. Glanton's got to be careful here. He needs to hold still and not make himself noticeable. Mythic kills Nero. That clears Barber, but unfortunately, Gerbs is on his flank again and is able to kill Mythic. Now Gerbs is going to rotate up. He's going to go out in the open, but he's not visible to My Son, because My Son is looking the other way. My Son will get 1 kill, but Gerbs is behind him. Does not get the shot off, but Gerbs will now come contest him. I don't think My Son knows Gerbs is back here, so My Son's probably going to get caught out. Glanton's going to cap B, though. They never stopped the cap. I don't know what happened, but RG just did not recognize Glanton was here. He's about to get killed from top Africa. Yep, there it is. But his team is 4 up alive. They have to rush out, though, now that B is being contested. They only have 25 seconds. A and B will be capped in 25 when the B cap finishes. So we are going to see relatively aggressive play, or at least I think that's what they need to do, but they are not moving quickly. They will get there in time. My Son is going to try and make entry onto A, but it looks like he's allowing the A cap to happen. He is making too much noise if he just wants to lurk, though. That player is going to sit in A, not do much of anything. My Son will now enter and get taken out from 3 directions. Wow. So they decided that they would play for C. I'm not sure this is the right move, though. They're both downstairs. Well, now Seth, QR code will go up top. He's too exposed. He needs to get down. Oh. Very weird positioning out of QR code there. Way too exposed. He should have known. Oh, Seth doesn't realize there's a second person coming. He's going to get stuck. Oh! Barely avoiding the sightline of that player down below. Not ready. He kind of gets prepared and peeks around the corner aggressively, but not aware that that player is there in the jail, and so is taken out. Unfortunately, a very clunky round out of Mayhem. They had, as David says in chat, very weird. They've let Gerbs through twice. Gerbs just running through B, through all of the smoke that Glanton is throwing. And some of that might be audio. They may just need to listen for Gerbs' footsteps a little harder. But also, Nero and QR code have been having a duel every round in Barber. And I'm going to try and watch that this round and see what I can get out of that. And that's huge. I mean, if QR code wins, it puts his team in a much better position. Obviously, if Nero wins, RG is in a very nice spot. But the big thing here was just RG able to cap A, and then the respawn wave, or sorry, not a, yeah, able to cap A, not, sorry, Mayhem able to cap B, and then Mayhem's respawn wave not able to deal with the RG players that were already alive. All of Mayhem's wave got either killed or was pushed over to C. Oh, see, Nero's here waiting. QR code is way too slow, either because he's throwing the nade. Mythic is able to refrag, so that secures the area for him, but still, you know, not getting that kill on Nero every round is hurting them quite a bit. Now, MySun on a big flank. We'll check on him in a minute. Seth is able to kill Gerbs, which is fantastic because that's one of their big issues. Glanton is still capping. RG has not been contesting the objective that much. Dictator takes out Seth and is now going to jump down and contest B. Unfortunately, they now know he's on B, and so we see, I believe that's Mythic peeking from top blue. Mythic going to take shots at the person top shops. MySun on the huge flank. He's going to be Africa, and he's going to get this kill on Yellow Brit. He's not going to peek B. He's going to focus on staying alive and getting down. Glanton still safe in the pillars. Very hard to dislodge. Oh, Mythic sees the player's arms, is able to take the player out, and now MySun, I think he saw this player in the alley. He did. I don't think that push was needed. He could have been a little more passive. No need to put himself in a position where he could get killed and then the enemy could escape. But regardless, he does die. David, or whoever it was that was last alive, still chooses to peek around the corner, and so the Mythic top Barber is able to take him out. That's a good round out of Mayhem. Very much a more controlled round. MySun getting through the garage, through A side, and able to go on that big flank helped late in the round break the deadlock. But even if they just let it be deadlock for a while, I mean, Glanton was in no danger. RG's position on B was much more strained because Dictator chilling in the helicopter was always going to be more risky. Just harder to stay hidden in the helicopter than it is in the pillars. And so it's going to be very interesting. I mean, this is 8-8. Right? David obviously breaking. That's fantastic. Seth doing the same. That's fantastic. I want to see again. Nero is throwing a frag. Oh, Dictator gets a two-piece with his pre-spray. That's just again spraying through smoke. He's not seeing those players, I expect. But Nero's here way early. You can see QR code peeking over the top now, almost seeing each other. They should have seen each other that time, and they will do this peekaboo game where they try and shoot each other first. Nero's going to get the kill. Gerbs has again been able to push through B. Glanton is all alone on B because, oh, he's all alone, period. No, sorry. MySun is still alive. Glanton alone on B, probably going to get cleaned up from behind here in a moment. Gerbs looks like he's flanking around to kill him. Maybe not. They should know he's there. MySun pushing Yellow is able to find one kill. He's going to try and pull out and survive, which is important. Glanton gets David before he's taken out. That's huge. It puts MySun into, I believe, a 3v1, but that's still doable. MySun looks to be aiming at the white truck, wondering if there's a player over there. There is. He's got plenty of time, but oh, he's got to watch that blue bridge. Sees the player. Not able to hit the shot, though. Very tight head glitch. And so Gerbs is able to take him out. And so that makes it 9-8 in RG's favor. Very tight game here. Very tight. Big thing, we gotta see, I mean, QR code's really been struggling on Barber. It's a tough position, like it always is, and so I hate playing it personally. It's such narrow angles, it tends to be this peekaboo game as we've been seeing, but if he could win that, it's going to change his team's outlooks each and every round, so that's huge. Last round we saw Dictator do some form of a pre-spray. It's usually down towards the main road at a particular angle they prep so that they can catch players as they run across the street. We'll see if he does that again. It looks like he is. Last round he got 2. They won't know that, but by the end of the round when they win based on... Oh! He's aiming at an enemy there. There are pillars, so the bullets don't necessarily make it to their target. And lots of shooting going on. Not much. Nero does sneak through. Mythic finds David. That's probably mid-street. Oh! Wrong time for Mythic to move, though, so Nero is able to pick up the kill. QR code playing more passively, as you can see. Not exposing. If Nero wants to walk up those stairs, he can get shot in the back of the head. Gerbs is blind on B, shooting a little bit random. Both him and Glanton were face-to-face blind at each other, so Gerbs kills Glanton, but Seth gets the ref. My kills Dictator, QR code gets Nero, and so last alive here is Django, who has somebody with him in the shops, and so he will try and escape by running away, but unfortunately gets shot in the back because MySun is sitting waiting for him. So that makes it 9-9, very close game. And just to be clear, if they do tie at 10-10, we will simply go to an overtime. We are playing up to 2 overtimes. Oh, sorry, I guess we have to play I guess we have to just keep playing overtimes. I'm not clear. Yesterday the format, because it was round robin, they would play 2 overtimes and then call it a draw. Here we do have to find a winner eventually, so I believe we will do infinite OT. It's possible we could cut it off and call this game a draw, because we will play 2 more maps and those could decide it, and simply make the final map infinite OT. But we shall see. I'm going to check Dictator's spray one more time. It looks like he's going for a quicker positioning. He's going to spray way in front of the enemies. He is kind of looking, but again, that smoke comes up. He doesn't get anybody. But as we saw 2 rounds ago, if he gets any kills on that early rip, it can absolutely shift the tides of the team. Looks like Gerbs here is, or not Gerbs, Django here is blind again. Seth gets taken out by Gerbs, probably doing his flank. Yep, Gerbs flanking. Oh, pushing in. He's been in this spot like 3 times. Nero does kill Mythic. My son looking for Gerbs, sees the gun barrel, but unfortunately that's not a player model. The shots give him away, and Gerbs leans out and takes the kill. QR Code does kill Nero. That's huge, clearing the blue bridge. Now they're kind of stacked up on each other, though. His teammate is right here next to him at White Truck. Glanton playing passively as usual, keeping his head down, letting QR Code do the work around him. Gerbs chilling in that side of the house visual. David is going to creep out. See, they don't know where Glanton is, so he's spraying at the pillars. I don't even think you can penetrate that, even with an AKM with AP. They are obviously contesting B, so there's no pressure. Gerbs is going to creep around here, find Glanton, and get this kill here just momentarily, unless Glanton looks this way. He's not going to. Gerbs finally notices the body, will get the kill. QR Code now knows there's a player below him, but also knows there's a player top Africa straight across. So he's basically stuck. Gerbs has no reason to push up here. They're going to get the cap, it's going to be 5 up, and then they're going to win. So Nero has to move. The jump down is probably what's necessary there. He cannot allow that capture to happen, but it's obviously a low percentage play. It's simply the best play he's got, even if it's low percentage. So jumping down there makes it 10-9 in RG's favor. And basically we now just get to see whether Mayhem can clutch up and put it into overtime, or whether RG is going to take map 1 by the thinnest of margins possible. So, I mean, I guess OT victories would be a thinner margin, but you know what I mean. Very exciting first game, though. Again, looking at the scoreboard real quick. Glanton, I know he's playing B, but I still, in my heart of hearts, I think he needs to be doing more for his team. There are ways to play B that allow you to be an active participant early in the round. And frankly, you know, he's not clutching late round either, which would be another way to make it sort of worthwhile what he's doing. But he gets on B, puts his head down, and then he wakes up halfway through the round when most of his teammates are dead, and it's just not helping enough, unfortunately. It is great that Mayhem is getting on the objective and applying that pressure. It's one of the only reasons that they're still in this game, because they've been getting that capture progress, forcing RG to make a move, and sometimes they get the respawn it, and obviously that swings the round in their favor. Similarly, Django, I think Django's their B player, and besides Gerbs, who's blitzing through, but I think Django's actually sitting on the B player. He's got a few more kills, that's reasonable, but really, David and Gerbs here with the lion's share of the kill. My son and Seth doing a fantastic job on the other side. Yesterday we saw more out of Mythic. I'm a little bit surprised he's not doing better today, but still, good, even distribution of the kills. This is what you want to see over here from RG, with the exception of Django. You just want to see an even kill distribution so that everybody's participating. What it essentially means is that everybody is winning a good amount of their gunfights. When you see over here like Mythic and QR struggling a bit, they're still contributing, they're still moving on the map, but they're losing maybe more of their gunfights than they would like to be. Whereas obviously Seth and my son are winning the majority of their gunfights. There's sort of 2 different ways gunfights can happen in this game. Some are very much uncontested, where the enemy has no idea you're there, or you see somebody running out in the open, and so the kill is basically free, and you did the work simply by being in position. The other type of gunfight is when you're actually shooting at somebody who's shooting back. That's what Nero and QR Code have been doing a lot over in Barber. That's what happens a lot when people push the bridges, and those types of gunfights are the ones that make or break rounds. Your positioning obviously is hugely important, and that can decide whether or not your team is in the right sort of situation and controls the map properly. But especially towards the end of the round, sometimes, or even at the beginning, as we see with, like I said, Nero and QR Code and Barber, those face-to-face gunfights, being able to win those consistently is just huge. So we've been in a little bit of a tactical timeout here, which doesn't surprise me with it being the last round. And oh, looks like Nero is still in the bathroom, so we'll be will be delayed for just a moment more. Glanton, I hope, joking about the fact that they are that they spawned in poor positions and so are resetting for that. You're not really supposed to do that, but also chat has now confirmed that we're doing unlimited OT for this, and so if we do tie 10 to 10, we will simply reset. We'll play 6 rounds, and the best of the 6 will win, and if we tie 3-3, we'll just do it again. And when we hit midnight, we all just throw our hands up and say, okay, we're tired, and we give up and just declare the whole tournament a draw. And you know, that's our solution. So not only do the rounds have the chance to go infinite, the actual tournament format has the chance to go infinite. And all praise for that decision can be directed towards Kaylau, because he is the best at everything. Love you, Kaylau. I see you in chat. Gerbs is now whining about the technicalities of how many pauses or timeouts a team is allowed during a half, which is true. But frankly, I don't think he's gonna convince the judges to declare this game a forfeit anytime soon. But it is his right to bring it up, and I'm sure it'll keep Mayhem from dragging this out too much longer. Frankly, the rules are always written with the intention of keeping things moving while also allowing a team to have a pause as needed for tactical situations, but for strategizing or talking with each other, adjusting their game plan. But nobody in the community really wants to see rounds or whole games forfeited simply because somebody may have paused for 2.5 minutes instead of 2 minutes. So now we are back live, and I'm gonna hop on with Gerbs this last one. Almost every round he's just using a regular AKM. That's not even a 74U, but he's playing very aggressively. I'm also a little bit surprised to see that he's using a sight. When this game was popular, I know it's a brand new game, just been released this week, as I've been saying, but when this game was popular back in, let's say, 2017, 2018, sights were very much not the meta. You almost always saw iron sights on most weapons, especially the AKs, which have really simple iron sights. So to see him, taking shots early after he throws that first smoke, the shots do not connect. So anyways, to see him use the sight, maybe that's a bit of a carryover from this other random game we play, Sandstorm. Remains to be seen. He does run out in the open. Seth from Bridge is able to take him out. Look at this play. The whole team is stacked up. The whole team is stacked up on the blue bridge and under it. And QR Code, it looked like, took out Nero there, which is huge. I've been talking about that duel they've been doing the whole game. Django is actually going to pull back off of B, knowing his team is getting pushed out. Unfortunately, he runs back out into the open, and so Seth takes him out. So now we have 2 players in Africa that are all that is left for RG. Now Dictator's going to slow crawl across while David goes and tries to clear C, because if they let the C cap happen, it's going to be bad news bears. Does not see the player lying around the corner because he's through the wall. Gets taken up by Mythic. That's a great play by Mythic to survive and then respawn. Dictator now pushing to A, but he's going to run across the gap. My Son is there waiting for him. And that is the cleanest round Mayhem has had. Maybe the tack pause was worth it. And obviously it's worth it because they now push it to overtime. So 10-10, we're going to overtime, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the same map, same rules, everything the same. We're just going to do 6 rounds, first to 4. And the teams stay on the side they were just playing. So the second half, the sides that they were on for the second half is how they start overtime. And then they will switch back at the halftime of the overtime. And I'm not a tournament official, so I can't tell you the rules perfectly, but I believe they all get their tactical timeouts back when we go into overtime. And everybody gets either at least 1 new tactical timeout, or they get the full set of however many they get back. And so I would not be surprised if we see a 1 or 2 rounds and then another pause, then a 1 or 2 rounds, then another pause. Because again, there just is not a lot of rounds in overtime, and it's only 3 per half, so if you lose 2 in a row on 1 half, you're in huge trouble to begin with. Regardless, here's your quick scoreboard update. Now last round we saw Gerbs chuck this smoke and almost take a bullet to the face as he jumped. He bonks on that concrete barrier, gets a little bit slowed down. His teammate is going to spray, so Dictator will take out Glanton. That's the B player down. Remains to be seen if Dictator running out in the open again, gets taken up by Mythic. Great shot by him. Django's frag finds Mythic, so Mythic dies. QR Code is doing the peekaboo. He does get taken out by Nero. They've been doing that all game long. Seth is going to rotate over and try and find the kill. I'm not sure peeking the same angle. Well, I guess Nero's not ready for it, so that is going to work. Meanwhile, I didn't even realize it, but David last alive. Now he's using the FAL. This thing can penetrate a lot of surfaces that the regular rifles cannot. And as I describe the advantage he may have, he gets taken out by Seth from Top Barbara, I believe. So the not an uncompetitive round, but a clean victory for Mayhem. Nothing too messy, nothing too lucky. There was an early cross pick from Dictator, and Mayhem was still able to survive, so that's good. Gerbs, I will say, 2 rounds in a row now, the final round of the second half and the first round here, has basically just walked out into the open relatively early in the round. He should know that people are at the blue bridge by then, and he just keeps trying to get across with these smoke grenades. And that's fantastic because let me tell you, earlier in the second half, Gerbs was just running through B and nobody was stopping. The solution to Gerbs' problem is actually for an Africa player to defend him, and it looks like, no, Django is not playing Africa. So they've adjusted the whole play, but nobody's going top Africa, which is very strange. Dictator trying to cross-pick a little bit, there's just nobody home. Mythic is, Seth kills Django, as Django went into shops. Mythic going wide, is going to get David. Nero is able to take out both QR and Seth. That's huge. Dictator also takes out Glanton, clearing B. Gerbs is on B. My son spots maybe David. I thought David already died, so I'm not sure who this is. But my son spots him in spawn. Lots of bullets from Dictator is who it is, and my son unable to get the kill on Dictator after seeing him a couple times. Just tiny little pixel peaks. Mythic is now on B. I agree he needed to stop the cap, but now unfortunately his position is known. And he's looking lower Barber, but he'll see the head. Oh, does not get the kill. He's now going to go for the reload. Oh, Nero gets the kill. That's a 3-piece for Nero at least. And fantastic positions out of him. Fantastic positioning and kills out of him. Really locked that round for his team. And that's all it can take sometimes. One person on your team having a good round can push through and clear other people off their positions. And yeah, that can really adjust the round. I see Sanctus in chat asking whose pick this map was. I would like to know as well. And yeah, Kalau's confirming that Sandstorm returning players tend to like the Cobra better. And I agree, like in theory, but even for me, it's not the same because the Sandstorm recoil and the way the sights were, the iron sights and the holographic sights were sort of displayed to the player is very different from how it is in Source. In Source, they're basically like static models, and so it just takes up more space on your screen. Use a red dot sight. David does take out Glanton with a pre-spray early. That's pretty huge, though Glanton, again, was all he was going to do was go stick his face into a concrete barrier and sit there for 3 minutes. So not the end of the world. Gerbs, interesting position on B. Definitely should not stay here, but he might get away with it. The nade is going to come in and miss him. That's okay. QR code playing more passively here in Barber is good. Kalo has confirmed that this map is RG's pick, so for RG to lose this would be devastating. QR code's going to see Nero. Nero looking the wrong way just at the wrong time. Gerbs can see this player, yeah, so Gerbs will kill that player out from under. Seth kills David, though, and now peeking B, but doesn't look at Gerbs, and so last live is QR code. Now, he should be able to get Gerbs. Gerbs is visible on the screen. Is that not Gerbs? Am I crazy? Oh, he does get Gerbs. That already happened, right. So now QR code will jump down to B. Unfortunately, it's going to take him 20 seconds to decap the progress for B, and then he has to spend 25 seconds to cap. So for him to sit here and get this capture is almost impossible. 45 seconds is way too long. He's got to go fight for A, but unfortunately they have this on lock. There's one player playing this wall, which you can see he's prepared for, but yeah, that's going to be a tough peek, and then separately he'd have to go fight on A because the A player was about to cap. So that was going to be difficult. It's the right attempt. He needed to try and do that, but it was just not a situation that would be an easy victory. So we finished this half 2-1 in RG's favor, but we're going to flip sides and do it again, and you know, we'll have to see if Mayhem, to win, to outright win, they need 3 straight wins. To tie the overtime round and go into another round of overtime, they simply need to win 2 of the 3 gameplay rounds. And that's possible. It's certainly a disadvantage, but it's a small, and we'll just have to, you know, watch and see, obviously. Suppressor from Seth, interesting choice. That probably means he gave up either his grenade or his AP ammo. The AP ammo not super critical, but there is a lot of walls you might want to penetrate on this map. Or not necessarily walls, but pieces of cover, especially around the B objective. The trucks or the thin wood and other things like that. So the suppressor, I don't know, it obviously, what it's mostly used for is not the sound, because people can hear your silence shots just fine. But it's usually used to hide your muzzle flash, and I'm just not sure. Maybe he's concerned that he's getting spotted through smoke by shooting. And so if he's going to do a big pre-spray or something, this might make a little more sense. We'll hop on with him and see. Obviously, the teams have now switched sides.
It looks like they're going to do a left side push. QR code not going to challenge Barber, so from this side, Seth is going to be the one playing Barber. And Glanton taking his sweet time. My son using the Sterling. The Sterling, the lowest weight weapon in the game, or primary weapon at least. So it lets you get to position a smidgen faster than an MP5. But in return, you shoot almost twice as slow, or half the rate of fire as an MP5. Look at this. We have 2 players looping all the way around. And it looks like Seth has visually spotted one. Mythic spots another, gets Django off the concrete barrier. Doesn't see the player in Kebab. Slides across, or gets across the view one time. Seth is now in the other team's pillars. Nice shot on Tanero. I apologize for the lines when the glass breaks. I have some sort of a visual bug. Regardless, David and whoever that is, Dictator, now stuck. He sees the player top Africa, but, well, doesn't notice the player top Africa, but player top Africa is visible. Does see the player in pillars, not able to get that kill either. Dictator flanking. Going to push top yellow, will get taken out because my son is ready, leaving it to be just David. This player is still here in the pillars, not dying. Now, no, still not dying. Glanton got the cap and is still alive there. And my son finally able to take him out, or maybe he did. Yeah, it looks like Glanton was there. Whoever was in the pillars did get taken out. But David, I'm shocked. David was using the M14, which has a ton of penetration. So that should be able to penetrate almost anything that can be penetrated in this game. You can penetrate whole thick walls on Ministry with it, but not able to penetrate those pillars, or at least not lined up properly to get the kill at pillars there. Regardless, good victory by Mayhem. That heavy left side play, that heavy C-side play, putting multiple people around the back, getting that flank off, it really penned RG's players into Kebab, and they just slowly died as they got picked off from about 3 different angles. So that was huge. But also, their ability to hold yellow is critical, because Django, I believe it was, pushing yellow, would obviously love to control the yellow bridge and shops. Now again, my son using this rush. David with the sniper takes out Glanton. Again, interesting to see how that will affect the round. QR gets a frag onto Django. Django kills QR in return. See, my son already wants to get rid of this gun. Oh no, he just wants that frag grenade, but he's got one in his pocket, so he can't pick up another. He's going to look down onto B, but the smoke obstructs his view. That way he doesn't take damage, is why he dropped sort of in that weird way. Gerbs will see Seth once the smoke clears. David is held back, or Dictator was the one who actually was able to take out Mythic on the flank, leaving it to be just my son against 4, and he's got a terrible weapon for this position. This thing can't penetrate a piece of tissue paper, and it also shoots at the speed of a slow jog. So, very difficult to get kills with this. He is spotted from top Barber. Yeah, there you hear it. Chunk, chunk, chunk. Knows Gerbs is in the helicopter. He's really basically just playing peekaboo and hoping some enemies exposed. Not able to find any enemies to kill, and so he does go down, making it 13-14 in RG's favor. Alright. So, it is now make or break for Mayhem. If RG wins, they will win for this map, and we will then go to station. If Mayhem wins this round, we will push it to a second overtime. And I really hope that Glanton has figured out that he just cannot get pre-fired like this. David with the sniper rifle, if he gets a kill, it's fantastic. If he doesn't get a kill, he's putting himself at a disadvantage for the rest of the round. And I spoke earlier about the knowledge that you can gain from the scope, even if you don't get a kill. So it's not always equal, but it looks like, oh, David peeking. If they crawl, or if they show themselves around that corner, nope, he's gonna shift off. Django does find my son. That's huge, because my son is especially one of the more aggressive and flanking players. Whoever's on my screen is blind as heck. Looks like 2 kills happen. Glanton does get a kill onto Gerbs, rushing across B. That's fantastic. Mythic chilling in Barber. He could also peek Blue Bridge at any moment. And a QR code holding Yellow Bridge. They've got a good setup. Unfortunately, Glanton is contested. Mythic gets Nero. Nero gets QR code. And Django on the flank is able to take out Glanton. So now, not David, I don't want. Mythic, David is coming from behind. And it looks like Mythic has been shot in the butt but doesn't realize it. David knows he's here. Or he's shooting a dead body? No, he knows he's there. Yeah, Mythic needs to wake up, but doesn't realize it. And so, I don't understand. Mythic was getting shot at like multiple times. Maybe he thought David was just sending bullets down range, like randomly. But yeah, should have turned around, didn't realize what was going on, so it gets taken out from behind. And that is our first round, or sorry, our first map, 1-0 to RG. The next map will be Station, and if RG wins it, that's them prevailing in this matchup. Obviously, if Mayhem wins, then we will push and we will play our final tiebreaker map on District. Everybody's favorite. How's everybody doing in chat? I hope people are enjoying. I don't have an update on Gems' games, or game, probably so far. If somebody does find out from the Discord, I'd appreciate if you post it in chat. If I have to just make a prediction, I am obviously saying that Unexpected Predicament should probably wipe the floor with Space Jam. Unexpected Predicament was fantastic yesterday, and frankly, Space Jam looked pretty rusty, so I think it's going to be a quick exit for Space Jam. After our first map here, I think this is definitely going to be much closer, and may even go to a third map. Station here, much different map than Market. Market is a small map. Sorry, Market is a relatively large map with a big open space and a lot of high up cover positions that overlook the B objective. Big on smokes, big on there are a couple pre-nades, but not super heavy on pre-nades, but big on pre-sprays and crossbows. This map has some of that same features, but also very different because it's much smaller. There will be many more pre-nades. There might still be a pre-smoke, but probably not as much. And what we're expecting to see is much more rushing and quick play. With such a small map, you're going to see a lot of refrags. It'll be much more difficult for me to follow the action. You're going to have to keep up by just keeping up with the kill feed and trying to track how many are alive for each map. As the rounds wind down, things will slow down considerably and people will start to creep quite a bit. The A objective over here is indoors, and you can see there's this balcony that can see out onto the rest of the map. However, most of the map is outdoors, most of the map is exposed to a lot of oversight positions. There are places like this balcony, or up here on, I believe this is called Shrine, I could be wrong. Everything's called Shrine as far as I'm concerned. And so there are some oversight positions, but it's nowhere near as exposed as B on Market, because you do have this house, and there's 4 different corners you can hide in. With the windows and stuff, there's at least 2 usually. You can sit on this barrel, you can sit in that corner, you can also prone out at the bottom, and try and just sort of keep yourself hidden. Security has what most consider a pretty major advantage in that they can also chill behind this box and barrels. You have to sort of nose up against the barrels to cap. I don't think you can cap from in the tree here, but you can hide in that bush. Obviously, the dock platforms down here are also capture zones, but they're just very exposed. So B is a little bit more protected on this map. However, it is small, and so nading the B objective, if the B objective player is not protected, it is pretty easy to push him off the objective or just kill him outright with a grenade. So we will see that. There is a little bit of cross-picking. The rock up here, you have to cross behind this rock to get to C, and that sight line that I'm looking at right now, aiming at that building far in the distance, is a place where the insurgents can chill to snipe you in return. And the insurgents don't need to cross this sight line, so it's not very useful for the security team to use this sight line. However, the insurgents can get out of spawn very quickly, come right here, aim along this angle, and they get to see both behind the rock, but also this low road. And so they may do that with a rifle. They can use a bolt-action rifle, but compared to Market, the distance is much smaller. There's much less fog. So the magnified scope, which is only available on the sniper, not as necessary, and a lot of people just tend to do this with iron sights and you know, squinting a little bit, trying to use their vision. What else are we expecting to see? Lots of pre-nades. You're going to see like 3 or 4 explosions go off on either side of the map at the beginning of each round. People are just going to be hucking grenades from one end to the other, doing NFL long passes. And yeah, there is some skybox shenanigans, so just because you see where people are releasing the nades and you can think about the arc, doesn't always land sort of where you would expect. There's some invisible walls up above this building that some stuff can bounce off a little bit and things like that. Ridge is very important. We're going to see people rushing, especially security, rushing up the ridge to get towards tin here, while the insurgents are going to have to try and come out on this low ground or go through the A building, you know, scissors up to the backside of A to get to tin. However, the security will probably also have somebody up here on the blue balcony, whereas the insurgents get this very powerful building, Shrine, which doesn't look like it has much of a view, But because you can get up here and nose around this corner and control your angles, you have a lot of control over what you expose to. And then you also can peek back on this side and basically murder anything pushing C. I mean, obviously they can shoot you as well. But the shrine roof here gives you a lot of control over C, and you're very protected. It's very hard to get nades up here. It's very hard to get, you know, you're not exposed unless you want to be or unless you choose to peek. And it's also pretty easy to bail out because you can go down those staircases and either exit out here, which is pretty exposed, or this side door, which, assuming there's no player waiting for you here at stilts, is usually pretty safe. But early round, there'll usually be a player chilling here, waiting to kill you if you push out. So the teams are getting ready, probably taking a quick bathroom break, maybe getting a drink. I should probably hydrate as well. I'm also getting a DM from somebody, so you guys can enjoy a moment of silence while I figure out what that is. And we're back. There's an explosion. We might see some people practicing their pre-nades. It's not much of a secret that this map is pre-nade central. Funnily enough, this big rock in the middle is very never used. No. Dictator telling somebody to go use the facilities. This big rock, when I started playing this map way back, you know, in the day when this was first released like a week ago, I expected a lot of people to crawl on this rock. Not crawl, but jump up, climb on, use it as a piece of cover. I mean, you do use it to like hide from people sometimes, but for the most part, it's barely a feature. It breaks up a little bit of the sightline, and that's really it. I don't think I've ever seen somebody climb on top versus like these rocks over here. People wind up using these rocks as pieces of cover all the time to fight people on top of the shrine or on top of the blue balcony. So pretty basic. There is also a nasty sightline that I used to love that we may see. You can come up here, and as you're coming out of security spawn, you can run up here, and there's a few different spots you can sit. You can actually sit inside the building and use this window. This diagonal right here is a fantastic sightline down the middle of the map, and it extends all the way to here. You can see that building in the distance. There's the window, and this sightline, the insurgents basically have to cross at some depth to get to C, and they start with C. So if they want to defend their own objective, they have to cross your sightline. So you can do this with a sniper rifle. You can do this with a semi-automatic rifle. It doesn't really matter. Again, the timing is pretty tight, so you have to have good reaction times and kind of know how to do this. But assuming you're ready for it, and if they don't smoke it off, you can usually get a pick from this. So a lot of teams will try and smoke it, or they will go while the grenades are going off, because that creates a lot of dust and smoke as well. You don't have to actually use the building as well. You can climb up here, and I don't think people do this as much anymore, but you can actually sit on the right side of this piece of tin, so you're not exposed to ridge. You can actually sit here, and you get basically the same sight line. You are more exposed to the right, obviously, and then if you really want to, it is possible to creep sort of farther up here, or rush. You will see people rush up to the front edge of the B house like this, and that gives them some good sight angles as well. Obviously a little bit more exposed, and it takes longer, but especially late round, this is a very nice spot to sort of just sit and chill. Yes, this spot. I don't know if this is what it is called or ever was called, but I colloquially know this as the Batman spot. Yeah, let's just assume that physics are real and say that they can totally do this. This isn't illegal. For the purposes of the competitive community, getting on top of roofs and places you're not supposed to be able to access, like externally, is forbidden. But for the most part, any pixel walk spot or other place that you're allowed to get through with normal movement mechanics, which in this case just jumping and crouching a bunch of times, is legal. There's a couple ad hoc spaces, like over here there is actually a bug. Because I'm a spectator, you won't believe me, but if you prone out kind of in the rock like this, you can see through the rock. That's like super illegal. So exploiting the map to make walls disappear or things like that is illegal. But using jump spots or using weird angles or standing on things that don't look like you should be able to stand on them, that's fine as long as you're not getting out of bounds, like on top of buildings or outside the playable area or something like that. It's much more of an issue in Sandstorm when almost all of the buildings could be climbed on top of, because the map makers are fantastic and would never make a mistake. Alright, just taking a moment to breathe, drink some water. It looks like Space Jam beat Unexpected Predicament first map. That was also 11-9, so my prediction was wrong, and Space Jam pulls out a victory. Now, it's unclear whether or not that was Space Jam or Unexpected Predicament's map choice. And that was on Market, which I saw them play yesterday, and Unexpected Predicament actually beat Space Jam, so that may have had something to do with it. Unexpected Predicament may have showed off all their strats. Space Jam may have figured out how to adapt since yesterday, but that's a very interesting result. We'll have to see how their second match goes. I would be, if Space Jam is able to knock out Unexpected Predicament in the first round, it would be a huge upset. Space Jam unable to win a victory yesterday except the forfeit victory against the EU team, whereas Unexpected Predicament didn't lose a game all day. And so everybody saw them as the favorites to win in the elimination bracket today as well, obviously. But anything could happen. This is why we actually play the games. It's not just statistics, there is a human element. And obviously, people can practice overnight, and sometimes people just have a bad day. So, I'll be honest, I don't know why it's taking so long. But the teams are in charge, and this is a competition first and a spectator sport second. We're not going to pull any shenanigans like other sports are doing, where we put a specific timer on these things, or try and rush things so that we can fit a TV commercial in. I don't even have any sponsorships to tell you, but if you do appreciate this and you want to support in any way, I don't take personal support, but the Blue Discord does have a link to where you can support the person who pays for these servers so that the community can play without costing our community members money directly. And so we obviously appreciate the person's name is Apple Pie. He's been doing this for years, setting up and maintaining the servers, and we appreciate him very greatly. I see that chat is making fun of the fact that I'm essentially giving a workshop on the map, and to Sanctus, all I will say is, look, man, I don't really want it to be dead air, and I keep thinking that it's 30 seconds from beginning. So, you know, the fact that you just posted that means in 3 minutes you'll hear me saying this, and yeah, so I'm just trying to keep things at least somewhat relevant and not just make it dead air. And if anybody wasn't aware, we are playing on a 3-minute delay so that the players or anybody else can't watch the stream and get an unfair advantage in game. Obviously, you know, some information still might be obtainable by watching the stream, even on a heavy delay like that, but at least like 1 or 2 rounds will always have passed, and so there shouldn't be any current positioning available to the players if they were to open the stream on a second monitor, which is against the rules also as well. But you know, trust but verify, all that shenanigans. And the players do record demos so that if the tournament administrators ever want to, they can review. I think this is live, and so we shall see. I don't know if you heard, I think that was 4 grenade pings. And we see Dictator does get mythic with 1 of them. That was 4 grenade pings just from Mayhem here, but there was more from the other side. And the grenades continue to rain. Now every person can only carry 1 grenade, so late round there will not be that many more grenades. Glanton gets a nice kill on Jank, but looks like, who is this? Dictator has pushed up. Yeah, Dictator gets a refrag on Glanton. Mai is in A, gets a kill, sneaks by whoever else that is in A. He's now getting pushed. My son taken out by Nero with an M4 that may have been a wallbang, I'm not sure. Seth is in this strong position top shrine. There is a player on that balcony he needs to be careful of. Looks away at the wrong moment, but he gets behind the wall, so he's not going to get taken out. But he's got to be careful when he peeks back, because that balcony player sees the balcony player, takes him out. That's fantastic. And now QR code just lurking on C, making sure nobody pushes over while Seth does the work. And that's normal. That's a good division of labor. QR code finding Dictator as Dictator gets greedy, or maybe QR code pushed up, not even clear. And so last alive is David. Not sniping, just... Oh, the grenade gets QR code! That's a fantastic grenade. Puts it into a 1v1. And Seth is top shrine, or at least was. David rotating slowly, but Chef is pushing aggressively. He's going to try and get over to blue balcony, which is a fantastic spot late round. He may even push behind. Yeah, he is. He may catch David out here. It's all going to be about the timing of David. He's going to be visible. This metal slat to his right is protecting him, but oh, that running away. Okay, he doesn't get spotted, so he will safely. Now, I said this map is very quick, and that's true, except for the fact that with it being this small, oh, he's visible on the screen. David's gun blocks Seth off of his screen's picture, and so Seth is able to get the kill, making it 1-0 for Mayhem. But as I was saying, it's a very quick map because of how small it is until the end of the round. It tends to get very slow because it's so small towards the end of the round. People are creeping. You're going to see a lot of crouch walk ADS, which makes you silent. And yeah, that's sometimes it can actually drag on a bit. The one thing that's nice is that these objectives on this map are so small, you will almost never get an objective stalemate. If two people from different teams are on an objective, they're going to kill each other. There are not enough places to hide. Oh, double nade gets Django and Dictator. That's going to be awful. Oh, and Nero nades himself! Oh, my lord. And Gerbs is full blind. This is terrible. RG ran into a hailstorm and got absolutely demolished. Glanton getting over onto A. Takes some shots for David, spraying a little bit over towards C, but there's nobody there. Gets taken up by Myson on the balcony. Gerbs is now last alive, and I love Gerbs. You know, he has a clutch factor, but man, he's not going to win a 1v5 on this map. And my son obviously executes him to end the round. So that's 2-0 for Mayhem. And remember, this is Mayhem's pick. So the way it works is there's a map pool of 5 maps. Both teams ban a map, or maybe both teams pick a map. It doesn't really matter. There's some bans, and then the one final map remaining is the final map to play. So RG picked Market and won by a thin margin. Mayhem picked this map, so they think they're good at it, or that it's a good choice for them to play. The final map District is much more neutral, but we do generally expect Mayhem to be both comfortable and prepared. To be prepared. Sanctus, I see. Oh, QR code gets a frag onto Nero. RG's got to do a better job of avoiding these nades. It's going to keep killing. It's going to keep ruining their chances of winning. Gerbs is going to push up into B. He gets an interesting aggressive position. Myson kills Dictator on A. Django playing near blue balcony gets Myson, but Mythic refrags onto him. Mythic also gets David. They are absolutely pushing through C. And Gerbs again last alive. Mythic getting the kill. And another very comfortable round win for another comfortable round win for Mayhem. They are, and RG is calling a timeout, so we'll have a 2-minute pause here. So again, they're going to need to talk it out and adjust. And I saw for a second there the screen said 420 blaze it. I guess that's what everybody needs to do during a pause. But regardless, we're going to have a quick tactical timeout. I see in chat that Sanctus, you're saying that the commentary about the workshop is not sarcasm, and I appreciate it then. Yeah, I mean, I did at one point, like, you know, a week ago when this game launched, I did play this game a little bit. I have some knowledge. I certainly was no, like, top-tier player, but, you know, I taught a bunch of people how to play this game. My team was one of the big sort of feeder teams for the top level. We would have a lot of new people join our team. They'd play with us for about 6 months and then move up to a higher level. And then that same sort of dynamic existed in Sandstorm. My team, I think at multiple points in Sandstorm's life, my team had, the community as a whole had more than half ex-TAW members, especially once you counted EU. There was a period where like all of the EU teams were just ex-TAW members because almost everybody had played with TAW at one point, regardless. Looks like our tactical timeout is over. We'll see if RG has made the change. I'm actually going to do an aerial view for this map to hopefully show you guys these nades and these smokes. Have to avoid the magic invisible skybox there. But I believe I'll see the grenade arcs in the glowing lines, and you'll also obviously see the players. And so hopefully you'll get an idea just of how... So there's an early smoke. I'm also going to get flashed, of course. Not many. So there's the big nade. That time it landed on top of the rock. Dictator gets a nice M16 spray. He's doing that house spray I told you about. And it looks like somebody's back there, and that's one. Glanton does get a kill onto Nero. Let's actually get some first-person gameplay. Oh, look at this. Oh, I need to do this, right. My son, and I believe that's Glanton next to him. Might be QR code. both at A. They are not capping because there's a player down below who's just going to sit there. It's very hard to push that doorway because the angles are just insane. Django and David, Django gets B and David gets a kill, so it's now 3v5, but this is a map where it's not too hard to make a comeback with just down a player or two because everybody's so close to each other. Seth, I thought he saw that player's feet, didn't need to make that aggressive push. Gerb's also getting QR code. My son now unfortunately feels like he has to push. When you're in a 1v4 like that, you can't just sit around forever. So he chooses to take the gunfight, but Dictator, cool, calm, collected, sits there, and that's a relatively decisive victory for RG. So whatever they talked about definitely worked. Either that or just terrible luck for Mayhem. But yeah, I will say part of RG's strat was very clearly to hang back. They did not rush up as quickly. They didn't die to those pre-nades, and that can make a huge difference, obviously. I will say, I think it was Dictator. Dictator sat in the river hut and shot the angle I showed you at the beginning. He got a spray with that early on. We are seeing a counter spray from somebody in the other spawn. Not exactly sure who it is. Oh, see, Seth is doing, this is another spray you can do. It's not the one I'm using. David counter picks him though. See, once you start spraying, oh, see, Mythic gets chipped by Dictator, but gets on by. Django's nade also goes Glanton. See, this is not good for Mayhem. Now they're the ones falling like dominoes. Myson gets a nice kill into Nero. This is an excellent spot, this balcony, but he will get pushed from behind by Dictator if he's not careful, though Dictator won't want to be aggressive because you never know when somebody's sitting right above. Myson finds the head peek. Oh no, he's going to turn away. Oh, Mythic saves. Mythic gets the kill from way over in the garbage pile through that door onto A and is able to QR code, also killing Django, but Mythic saves Myson. Otherwise, Dictator easily would have killed him. And now David is last life. David does find the Mythic by the trash pile. Also finds QR code. Doesn't get the kill. And so QR code is able to take out David. David was about to go off there. If he had actually gotten that kill, it would have been huge, though I think my son was capping A. Yeah, early pick by David there onto whoever it was, Glanton or whoever in the Insurgent spawn. So there's a building up here you can hop in, and that's the wrong side of the map. There's a building up here with a high window. And this window can also see the sniper rock. It's not an angle I like playing as much, or not the sniper rock, but it lets you see the spawn hill that they're going to come out of right here. It's not a position I like playing as much, but it is an option. And I think it was Seth who was trying to do that. Anyways, I hope they don't do it this time. Dictator, barely avoiding a nade, is going to do a spray again. As you can see, nobody's actually there. Almost takes out a teammate. It looks like we had a rush. My son, I think, rushed through very aggressively. Nero does take out Seth with a grenade. Or sorry, my son rushed and did get a kill. Nero does flank around, get the kill. Glanton is at a refrag. Again, it's a small map, so refrags are going to be very quick, very common. Glanton on A. He's now just contesting. Not, oh, Mythic finds Django, who's on a nice flank. That means Dictator's less life, and he's basically stuck. If he goes out that front door, he's going to get picked, so he's going to peel around the backside and try and escape down to the low ground. Missed timings. Here's the player running to A, and so tries to go for a cheeky wallbang. A and B being capped. Mythic decides to go around the back and just give Dictator a little bit of a surprise, surprise back shots, and we see another. That's a very good victory at Mayhem. They clearly have stabilized that one round that RG won after the pause was not the beginning of a massive comeback. And so RG's in the hot seat. I mean, the first game was very close, but that was RG's map. And so with the advantage of picking the map, they really were barely able to pull out a victory. Versus here, we're seeing Mayhem use their map, the map they picked, to their advantage, and clearly they've prepared for it. I'm not sure about these flashes. Like, those flashes will blind people, but all you're doing is slowing them down slightly. Like, you're not in a position to get the kills. So, oh, we're going to see my son jump down, but get taken out by Nero. Nero's grenade also killed Mythic, so it's already a 3v4. Sorry, yeah, 3v4. A grenade must have killed one of RG already. Glanton's going to work his way through, try and find Nero, I believe that was down in hell, as we call it. Seth kills Gerbs. That's good. He's using a 74, which is interesting. It's basically a 74 U, but slightly longer barrel. Almost the same. Nero does kill Glanton. We see Dictator. This is him towed onto B. Seth finds Django, but Nero up on the ridge is able to find QR code in the hut. And so now it's a 2v2. Unfortunately, 2v1. Seth runs onto the objective a little aggressively. I'm not sure that was necessary, especially knowing the objective wasn't about to be captured. And so that's the round. Nero with a 4 kill. He got the 2 people. He got the nade. He got My Son in Hell. He got Glanton, I think it was, in A long or left side, whatever we call it. And then he got QR code there towards the end on B. So excellent round out of Nero there. And I mean, look, it's 5-2. You know, RG's definitely fighting it out, but you know, Mayhem has a pretty good handle on things. I also don't know the sidedness of this map, at least in the current meta. Throwing a lot of flashbangs over them. See, it'll blind player, and that will make them a little bit less likely to get to positions on time. But RG is already holding back and not rushing too much, so, oh, this will be tricky. If My Son jumps up, he's liable. Yeah, he will take the player off the rock. David should stop doing that. That got old a long time ago. Glanton also kills Django. My Son, not full blind. He got flashed, but, well, he was full blind for a second. He got flashed, but he didn't get pushed. Seth getting kills, and it's just Dictator again. Again, he's playing this low A position. Oh, nice! See, he's just pre-firing angles he knows people are likely to sit at. And that's great. He got the kill on My Son. Unfortunately, with it being a 5v1 or a 4v1, he just needed to... He just got refragged because Glanton is there waiting as well. So, but an excellent shot by Dictator onto My Son. That's very hard to... You're basically just mentally prepared for where the angles are, and you have to be shooting even before you arrive on them, because remember, the other player is just sitting there holding the angle on the tightest possible sight line. So, very difficult to do. Gerbs has a pistol out. So we're going to see if he pistol rushes. It looks like he's adjusting his loadout. The thing is, if you're going to pistol rush and get stuck on a doorway, it's not particularly fast, and all you've now done is made it so that you don't have a good weapon. So I'm not convinced that was helpful. He's doing a bit of a delayed grenade here to kill that player on the river. It's not going to land. He's also going to get flashed. Funnily enough, because spectating is perfect in this game, the spectator gets flashed out of seeing their map. Glanton and Mike both get kills. My Son on a huge, but Dictator playing the rock is able to take him out. But again, oh, Gerbs, sees Seth not able to pull the shot off as the smoke clears. He does hear this player on the rock, but now he's called out. He's last alive, right? Oh no, Dictator's still alive on the rock. Okay, that changes things a lot. So Gerbs is going to flank into A. He's going to find a real gun. Chooses not to pick up a real gun. What is going on? Peeks Glanton, gets taken out. Now we just see Dictator. He's about to come face to face with the flying monkey, and Seth is able to take him out. Not calling Seth a monkey, just any jumping player is a flying monkey. And Seth, you can't shoot while you're in the air. So Gerbs has Dictator there has 2 or 3 free shots on Seth as he flies through the air. Not able to land them. And Seth immediately snapshotting Dictator as he lands. Excellent play out of him. And this will now be our final round of the half. It is 7-2. I say that 6-4 is a good split. If you get to 6-4, you're okay. You'll be able to make a comeback in the second half. 7-3 is rough, but 8-2 would be devastating. Again, maybe Insurgents have a massive advantage in the current meta. I don't know on this particular map because of the spawns and the positions. But I thought Security had it easier. I was pretty sure that Security was the advantage team on this map. And so I think RG is in for a rude second half. My Son gets a quick kill on Nero going hell, I assume. And Gerbs is able to sneak through, though. He's going to get 2 kills here, probably. He's able to... Yeah, they're going to line up on... They're going to line up on balcony, but Glanton is there waiting for him. He's doing that all game, and they keep dying to him on the refrag. Glanton, excellent refrag here. Doesn't see the player top shrine immediately. David exposing to him briefly. Takes some shots. Now he's going to creep around, but again, QR code, they're ready. It's incredible just how tight together Mayhem is playing. So when one of them gets shot at, the other person is always there to refrag. Now he's getting plinked. Yeah, Dictator getting shot. You can see that door. I'll show you after the scoreboard clears, but you can see that door from almost the whole map. So as you go up those stairs in A, you've got to be careful because you'll get shot from way off the objective if you don't get through that doorway pretty quickly. Regardless, that is 8-2 on this half, and I mean RG needs some real magic if they want to pull out a victory on this side. They're gonna need a ton of rounds in a row. They're gonna need to play almost flawlessly. It's just very difficult. I mean, and again, I think, and somebody can correct me in chat if I'm wrong, I think the Insurgents have the disadvantage on this map, not the advantage. So, if anything, RG should have been doing better last half than they even will this half. So, not to presuppose anything, because you know anything is possible, but we may want to just start asking if we think RG is going to win any round this half, or if they're just going to get shut out 3 rounds in a row. And and go home 11-2. That would push us to a third map, though, to be clear. We will play District as the tiebreaker, and I don't actually know who I think is better. I know that RG used to be really good at District at one time, but I don't know what to expect when we talk about comparing these two teams. Looks like RG is going to be very passive. Lots of early grenades, but they're hanging back. They didn't run out, and that's going to let QR Code get pretty far up. He sees that player. No, he does not see that player. The car is in the way. There is a player to his right just past the pillars as well. He will see this player coming around the board. Gets one kill. Mythic also gets a kill. Seth kills the guy on C. But Gerbs is able to respond with a kill on Glanton. Gerbs gets cleaned up, and so now it's just David. And David is spotted from Stilts. He is going to pop up and take the shot. That's great. But also gets the kill. That was a fantastic kill onto My Son Balcony. But unfortunately, when you have 4 people shooting at you, it's quite hard to survive. And so David will go down. And that's a quick round. Pretty decisive victory for Mayhem. They are rocking right now. And I don't know. I don't like to be too ahead of myself, but I don't see RG pulling anything out that can fix this. Look at this. I love this. We have a much more even kill spread out of Mayhem than we have in any of the previous games. Glanton, QR Code, both pulling almost equal weight as everybody else. And similar on RG. Django doing a little bit of low, but he, I believe, is basically getting on B every round. And B is brutal on this map. It's very hard to stay alive, so that's almost unavoidable. Similar to what Glanton was doing last game. But this map's even probably a little bit more difficult to get kills when you're in B, except for maybe the other B player. But Gerbs is going to get this pistol rush off. He's going to run through the smoke cloud. Glanton finds a grenade onto one. Nero and Gerbs both get kills, but Mythic is able to refrag Gerbs. Django is able to kill Mythic, and so there's 2v3, but all 3 players from RG are on A. So they've got to try and spread out and get some control. I'm surprised Django gets QR Code. I was going to say, I'm surprised that QR Code wasn't over on C yet. And Glanton messes up a little bit there at the end, so Django's able to finish him off as well. A little bit of a clunky round. And obviously, as I mentioned, I guess I was wrong. RG did win a round. Streamers curse there a little bit. Commentators curse. But, yeah, very strange. RG played a very heavy A put, which is not super unusual, but, you know, happens. And then, in return, Mayhem never really contested C. Like, they had cleared this whole half map, but instead of going for a capture, they didn't actually go over and get that capture progress. They just kind of waited. I believe QR was up on the balcony, and that's not the end of the world, but we see Mythic doing the pre-spray, and we see, okay, this is much better. They're doing 2 rushing, QR Code getting into this alley. I'm not sure what he's looking at. My Son gets killed on Nero. That's huge. Let's see if My Son is going to push. No, well, lots of kills coming in. I can't track them all. Sorry. 2 down for each team. Mythic gets a nice kill in A. A side is now clear. I think it's a 3v1. No, 3v2. Oh, Gerbs is still alive, and he pushed through. They have no idea he's here. Mythic does find the David kill on the river bridge, and so it is just Gerbs now. They have no idea where he is. The suppressed pistol is relatively quiet. You can still hear it, but if there's other noise, you might not. Now they know where he is for sure, but Gerbs sees 2. He gets Mythic, sees the player balcony. If he'd gotten that kill, this would be a whole different ballgame. But now, now not so much. 2v1, he's making noise in the river as well. He's flashed, he's going to spray a bit, but I think he's going to get taken out before he can see again, and yes, that is the case. Alright, 10-3, RG in the hot seat. I'm being informed by K-Lau in chat that most people think Insurgents have the advantage in this map. Well, that has not been the experience in this matchup, at least. The Insurgent side has been... oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I have that right. Okay, I have that backwards. So, yeah, so Mayhem did very well on the Insurgent side. Theoretically, if that is the side with the advantage, then that makes sense. But they're clearly still winning rounds on this half, and RG needs to now win, I think, 8, right? No, 7 in a row? Yeah. RG's got to win 7 in a row, and, well, let's just say I think that's going to be a difficult lift to manage. Tactical timeout pause. I assume tactical, at least it might be technical. Technical just meaning it's a you know, game problem with somebody crashing or internet problems, but tactical timeout likely since everybody's still in the server. And we'll take a beat, and then when everybody's ready, we'll get back to playing. So again, whenever this does resolve, assuming RG does not come back, push it to overtime, and win in overtime, just assuming that doesn't happen, we will next play District. District, closer to market than to station in my opinion. It's got more high elevated overwatch positions It's a map that has a little bit more space, like Market, where it takes longer to rotate. I don't know if that necessarily favors RG. The angles are not particularly similar to Market. There's sort of more hallways and more indoor areas to play. And that can be a different feel, different skill that it takes. But who knows? We'll have to see. 10-3 here on station, and we get another round started. Lots of nades coming out from Mayhem, and then they back up to avoid the nades flying in. QR code is going to sneak across. Mythic gets Nero, and Glanton is pushed all the way up into tin. Nice aggressive play from him. He flanks around to the left. Oh, My Son's nade gets Django on the left side. That's huge. Glanton doesn't see him, but the player on stilts is taken out. I believe that's one left. Yeah, just Dictator. Dictator has to clutch against 5. I don't think his team has killed any. He doesn't even get the kill. Turns away. Seth kills My Son. Dictator turns around and gets QR code. Oh, I hope Dictator doesn't win, and Seth feels terrible for that. There are 2 players on B, so they're probably going to get the cap here. They are basically just covering each other, but they're also very close to each other. and Mythic is able to get the kill. I believe Mythic's teammate is under the B house. Am I right about that? Well, he's disappeared now. But I believe one of them was lying under the B house. So, yeah, a little bit tricky there. All right, folks. Well, that is 11-3. This is your final scoreboard. And Mayhem with the decisive victory on station. Our next map will be District. It's going to take us a minute or 2 to rotate. Based on how long the previous map switch took, I'm going to put us on a holding screen so I can grab a little bit more water. I'll be back in just about a minute or 2, and then we'll get started on District. And I will get you guys an update on the other map, the other teams, as when I come back as well, hopefully. See you guys in just a second. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we are getting set here on District, but more importantly, maybe, we have very interesting news. The other match has now concluded, and it ended 11-1, Space Jam prevailing over Unexpected Predicament. So, Unexpected Predicament, the team that went undefeated yesterday in round robin play, has gone down in 2 maps, not even pushing it to a tiebreaker map, and they will not advance in this competition. The first map that they played ended 11-9 with Space Jam winning, and that was a close match, but the second map, 11-1 on Ministry, and I have to assume, I don't think I saw them play Ministry yesterday, I have to assume that they just were not as good at Ministry or something, because I saw excellent play out of them. And frankly, the big takeaway here is Space Jam has decided that they are here to play today, because yesterday I know they were experiencing some technical difficulties as well. I don't know how much of their difficulty yesterday was based on just technically not being able to play the game, but you know, like computer problems and disconnecting and whatnot. But I know that there was some of that. But also, the gameplay I did see was a struggle. I mean, they were not playing particularly well. And based on these scoreboards I'm seeing today from their matches that just concluded, they are doing fantastic. So, whoever wins this map, district here, will face Space Jam in the finals. And frankly, I am glad to see Space Jam back to what I was expecting them to sort of be performing at. And it'll be interesting to see whether they can come back and win it as a 4th seed in this elimination bracket. A lot of people, I think, assumed that they would just get knocked out by unexpected predicament immediately, but no. They are here to play. They are here to rumble. Now, as is usual, nothing happens quickly here in the Insurgency competitive community, so it'll probably be another minute or so. I would love to hear people's predictions or talk about who they think is going to win in this matchup here, this 3rd map. And then also, I'd love to hear people talk about in chat what they think is going to happen next matchup in the finals. Do we think that Space Jam can beat either of these teams? Do we think Space Jam can beat both of them? What do we think? While you guys are thinking about that and typing that in, I will just quickly go over District a little bit. District, much more enclosed than Market, but much bigger than Station. And the most important thing when I talk about size is actually just the distance between objectives. The time it takes you to run from A to B to C on this map is much more similar to Market, though Market's even a little bit bigger, versus Station is so much smaller. And so very difficult to get captures on Station just because people can always arrive to contest the objective, versus here on this map, much easier. If you get a sneak around to A or to C, not unlikely that the other team will just let you have it and focus on killing your teammates and spawn camping you. So we will see some pretty egregious spawn camping here, and that's completely legal. The big thing to note here is going to be the duel from the 2 sort of overwatches. So the security team will control Dark Window, and they will control this doorway on Balk, and they will try and clear all of Balk and control all of Balk. And that, as you can see, will give them great visibility onto B. But what we need to compare that to is apps. So apps, these 2 windows here, the Insurgents will control to begin with, and that obviously gives them great visibility onto B. They will also have to deal with this window gunfight, as you see Django sitting where the enemies will be. That's where the security team will keep from. And also this hallway here, which probably will not have smoke in it, like, ever during actual gameplay. There will be players on B from both teams some of the time. The nades will fall on B. There's not a lot of pre-nades on this map because the buildings block everything. There are some that fly over these arches into the B area, but that's mostly just to kill the B player. So yeah. Hello, gems and people. I see that 3 minutes ago you raided with a party of 21. I hope your stream's been going well. We're on a 3-minute delay, so I can only react through time travel, but glad you're all here. Hope your matches were good, and I hope you're ready for one more exciting round. The first 2 matches here ended very well. The first match was very tight. We went into overtime, and RG was able to pull out a victory on Market, 14-12. However, on the second map, Mayhem blew the pants off RG. I think they only give up 3 rounds, right? 3 rounds? Yeah, 11-3 RG last map on Station. And so I would say momentum-wise, RG needs to pick themselves up off the floor, but it really is just going to come down to how good the teams are at this particular map, because clearly based on their first round on their first map on Market, RG has the ability to win. Just depends on whether or not they're prepared to do that on this map. So I've already discussed and asked people in chat who they think is going to win against Space Jam, so if you've got an opinion on that, whether one or both of these teams. Who am I hearing this noise? There we go. If you think either or both of these teams could or could not beat Space Jam, feel free to share your opinion. And yeah, we'll give a little bit of a chat about it. As usual, nothing happens fast in the world of Insurgency competitive, so we'll be here another couple minutes, I'm sure. Who is making noise?
noise. Whatever. I am going to really quick join a team and then join spectators. Nope. I have no idea what is making that noise. One of you guys may know. It may be a bug. It may be somebody in some area of the map that just makes everybody hear it. If it doesn't go away soon, I will reconnect to try and get rid of it. I'm actually just going to reconnect right now. Alright, I'll be back in just 10 seconds after I reconnect. Alright, we're back. Well, it will be. Now we should be back. Alright, I'm seeing Maxwell in chat says Space Jam has the experience that can prevail more than any other team. I agree with that. I mean, when I first saw their roster, I was like, oh, it's the old gods from, you know, way back in the day when this game launched like a week ago. You know, the people on that team on Space Jam are some of the best players NA has ever seen, and some of the community leaders of NA. For sure. Versus RG has been a very similar roster the whole time, and Mayhem here is a collection of sort of other NA players, maybe not going back as far as Space Jam, but certainly some great players. At one point, I thought my son was one of the best players in NA for sure. He was on my team for a little while, moved up to play on some more high-tier competitive teams for a while, has been bouncing around quite a bit. So yeah, I consider him great. He played mostly just as Sandstorm got started. Is my understanding. So I don't know that he'd ever played Source, like seriously back back when this game launched like a week ago, because it's brand new, and so everybody's just getting used to it for the first time, and nobody's really had time to develop any strats. But yeah, it's looks like we've got 5 and 5, so we might actually get started. David, obviously, you know, completely blowing out everybody else in the kill-death ratio right now, doing fantastic during this warm-up period. And yeah, so we'll get going. Whoops. Oh, Django's flying. The players are able to enable bullet hit markers like red hit as you see them over here. So you can have your bullet impact show. You can make it so that you can no clip. You can make yourself invincible. Give yourself resupply. Lots of little plugins, partially developed but at least implemented by Apple Pie. And if you appreciate the fact that we're putting on this tournament, or you just like pugging in the blue Discord, feel free to drop him a coin in his tip jar. There's no pressure to do so. He's happy to provide, but obviously, as a community, we'd prefer he not be just giving us his own money if we don't have to. Alright, folks, let's get this game going. Since I'm, you know, definitely not running out of things to talk about, let's talk really quick about profile pictures. Glanton, I believe this is one of the classic Insurgency boys. I'm not going to open people's profiles and look at them really quick. We'll see them pop up at maybe the end of round screens and whatnot. Very big fan of QR codes. Guy in a suit here, very professional looking. I hope it's not some serial killer from a TV show that I don't know.
Can you fucking stop? God.
I don't know what Grinmore is telling me to do. Oh, maybe it's about the, Alright. All good. DMs for everybody. I don't think you guys can see my DMs. If you can, well, there was nothing super secret in there anyways. It looks like we are... Apparently Seth is doing a ritual, and they're trying to start their demos. So everybody records demos so that we can check them for hacks later. But no, I mean, seriously, it's mostly just to make sure nobody's exploiting anything they shouldn't be. But we should be getting started here in a moment. Hopefully we'll be.
Moving to Bravo.
Alright, here we go. Let's take a quick look at loadouts. David, as usual, running the marksman class, running an M14. That will have some implications. This map has a lot of walls that you can penetrate, and so we may see some extra wallbang potential out of him.
Everybody else seems to be using like relatively normal loadout. Django a little bit slow out of spawn. Unusual for him. He's more of an aggressive player. QR code leading the pack with frag in hand. So there's this bug, and somebody in chat can maybe explain to me how this bug works. All I've been able to figure out is you can run pretty much full speed while cooking a nade, or not necessarily cooking it, but having it at the ready. And that lets you throw it quickly once you get in position. So oh, look at this! What the heck is going on? Okay. RG taking a very passive position early, not rushing too far up. Now they're starting to push in. Dictator does kill Glanted. Oh no, QR code turns to react. He does get the kill on Nero, but then Gerbs takes him out. Seth takes out Dictator. David takes out Mai. All the kills are happening off screen. I apologize. Mythic takes out David. We are now in a 2v2. Gerbs above whoever is right below him. He will not go down that way. He will go down the other way. Django kills Seth, so now it is a 1v2. Mythic being last life. He came up the stairs from Cubby. Did not find Gerbs here. B is not being capped currently, though they just stepped on C. So Mythic has to make a decision about whether he thinks they're still capping, because he won't know that. Seems like he's given up and he's going to go focus on C. Question is, will he find these kills? There's two players here. One of them looking, but Mythic's able to take him out. Unfortunately, if he runs away, Django's going to pop right back in. Django's going to leave and come hunt for the kill. Take shots, so now Mythic knows he's there, but doesn't get the kill. Mythic is going to chase. C doesn't have long to cap, though, so he's got to go quick. If he's going to get on and contest, he will get on and contest. He's going to prone out. I'm not sure the prone is necessary. He's going to step back, and this is going to be a slow play. And I invite... No, don't step... Oh, he decapped. Oh, Django stepped off. Django stepped off the objective for a second, making Mythic think he'd ran away. Mythic changes pace to go back to B, so Django is able to get the cap. And now it's 5-1, and Mythic basically has to sit on B. Yeah, Mythic... Oh, Mythic couldn't even sit on B. The time was expired. Right, A and C were capped. Yeah, Mythic leaving C there is a huge blunder, unfortunately. Mythic, seeing that Django was not capping, Django stepped off the objective just slightly, off to the side. And by doing Mythic sitting on the objective thinks that, you know, Mythic thinks that Django's left, but, I mean, he's got to hunt Django down and find him. He can't just assume Django's left, otherwise Django gets back on C like we just saw. Very smart play out of Django there. I see Chad is laughing about me calling the NA Space Jam players some of the best in the NA, but, you know, I have my opinion, and, you know, I was certainly one of the best NA players in D4 at one point, so, you know, everybody's got their own perspective. Even if they weren't the best players, I think we can all agree that, you know, people like Wooly and Link were some of the, like, most notorious players. My son's going to do this glass jump that keeps you out of a sight line that might get pre-fired. Looks like he's going to push Balk relatively aggressively. He has, I think this is a 74. Could be an AKM. I can't really tell. Nah, it's just an 8. Yeah, it's a 74. Glanton gets the kill on Dictator. David with the EBR is going to find the shot. Oh! My son knows a player will peek him once he shoots at the wall, so he sprays a bit at David and then goes back to watch the doorway. Gets the kill there. Smoke coming in. A little bit of a delay smoke. We're going to see somebody run through the smoke. That should get taken out. Seth knows a player's on because the objective stops moving. My son also gets the kill on David. Last live is now Django on this big flank. He did this last round. He's going to try and nade over the top to get the B player. Slow creeping onto B. There is a player in Cubby not looking this way, but now is going to... Django kills one. Is going to try and dip away, but the Cubby player is going to peek him. Django not seeing QR code peeking, and so Django gets taken out. And so that is now 1-1. My son complaining about a Balk angle from the street. Not sure exactly what angle. I assume he means like over here, somewhere just through the arch. You can see onto Balk, but regardless, here's your mid or between round scoreboard. Nice even kills from everybody. Let's not pay attention to Nero's donut. I'm sure he'll fix that in a moment. Still early. Burger in chat has high confidence in Waffles, Link, and Wooly on Space Jam's ability to prevail over anybody. Maybe in a little bit more antagonistic phrasing, but I understand where he's coming from. Again, they're you know, some of the most tried and trusted players in the NA, and they have a lot of serious skill. Seth looks like he's going to do our sprinting thing with the grenade. About to chuck it. So this grenade over into Apps will kill a player if they push up into Apps. That player barely ducks behind the corner and survives. Seth does peek around the corner to get the kill. Also, my son gets the kill on what I assume is Apps. Dictator kills Glant, but QR code gets Nero, so it's a 2v4. Dictator is on B applying pressure, but once the smoke clears, boy, is he going to be in a big world of hurt. So he is going to leave as that smoke clears. That's smart. My son killed David, so it is just Dictator now. And A is being capped, so Dictator is already on the clock. Once he touches C, what I'm expecting is 1 or 2 people to come contest it, but the rest of Mayhem is probably just going to cap B and A and go spawn camp, because the spawn camps on this map are brutal. And so yeah, we see it looks like QR code is going to rotate, and the rest of them might not. They're going to fast cap B. Maybe Mythic is also going to come help C. Looks like they will. QR code peeks poorly, very poorly, and not able to get a kill. My son captures A. I think, yeah, so QR code did respawn there, so it doesn't matter that he peeked kind of poorly. There will be a respawn from Dictator, but I promise you, my son is going to go make their lives very difficult. He is in the school, but ladies and gentlemen, let's not talk about that, maybe. Poor phrasing. I was trying to get back for it, but Dictator... Oh! Nero also kills Seth, so one of the spawn killers is taken out. My son's still alive and lurking. I'll go watch him. He's let them all pass because they went outside. They might hear him in the school, but he's going to come out here and peek them. Oh, he's got to be careful. He's got to get these kills. And one of them has already made it into A, Nero. My son doesn't know there's another one up the street, but he could peek that and get that kill. Wow, my son let them all by and now gets taken out by... Oh, I didn't even realize Gerbs was still lurking there. So actually, RG has done an excellent job getting out of spawn. Unfortunately, they are on B, and that's huge. They are capping. QR code's got to pull a nice kill out of it. Yes, he's going to get this kill. Thank God. So he clears A. Unfortunately, Seth okay, so they're on C, so they're not in danger of losing by capping yet. QR code just needs to hold A, and Seth just needs to defend C. Unfortunately, Seth is going to move to B, because if QR code dies on A, they're in trouble again. QR code holding steady. He doesn't need to move fast. They have the numbers advantage, and there's no rush. They can't lose by capping while he's holding his objective. Fortunately, RG has respawn, so maybe Seth should get a move on, because he's going to get flooded in A. Mythic is capped C, so we're back to 5 on 5. You're going to see Mythic move to B while his team comes out of spawn. QR code getting naded. He made noise there, so they know he's there. He'll kill one. He needs to duck and hide. He needs to stay alive. Peeking here is not helping his team. He's going to go down, and so now the question is, can they cap A before they touch B? Mythic is the only one close enough to touch. He's going to run out. He's going to get taken out from Balk. He is contesting. Oh, the Balk player doesn't see him. The Balk player doesn't see him. Now he takes him out, but he did make some cap progress, and they clear Dictator and David off of B. So now they are capping B, and RG is going to have to blitz in here. We see one coming through Cafe. Where's our Cafe player? He doesn't see the player on B. They've got to touch. They've got 10, 15 seconds to touch. A little bit of time. One comes through Arches. Hill will try and get on. He gets, My son takes out Django. My son last alive on Belk, but he just has to hold. They have to push into B. Stop the cap. He gets one. He's out of ammo, though. I'm pretty sure he's out of ammo. He doesn't know there's a player behind him. And he gets taken out by Gerbs in the Arch. That is one of the most hectic and close rounds. Holy moly. What in the world? So again, much larger map than Station. Much easier to get captures. The spawn... Unfortunately, my son not able to get multiple spawn kills. That would have changed the round. And I think somebody was helping him over here, spawn camp this side, and wasn't able to do it, unfortunately. The fact that RG was able to bust out a spawn there, huge. QR code did a good job holding on A. Probably should have stalled a little bit more. Mayhem did an excellent job pushing back out of their spawn both times to recontest both objectives. And it's just a little bit there at the end. My son almost clutching it up. Not able to get both of the kills there at the end, and so Gerbs last alive for his team, able to finish it off and get the kill. And man, I think it's funny that half the team now runs out of spawn holding a grenade, but whatever. Let's see what Dictator's going to do. It looks like I think last round he also rushed on to B. Now last round he kind of went out here, and then once the smoke faded, he left. And so yeah, he gets one kill into blue on Mythic. Gerbs also kills Struck. Is that a sniper I hear? I want to see if David is sniping in a minute. May have just been a grenade, I'm not sure. My ears don't work no more. Django getting glanted. This is quickly becoming a bloodbath. My son on balcony. He's going to peek it. Oh, peeks it wrong. Nero able to take him out. So Seth is last alive against 4, I think. And, well, let's just say that's no bueno. Balcony not able to see him, so he's going to jump onto B, give away his vision. It's a nice peek on the Dictator, but he's going to try and duck away. And he doesn't get back into Cubby in time. And so Nero is able to refrag him. I think that was their only kill of the whole round. Yeah, 1 kill. So, not great. Let's just say that. And it's 3-1. Security is winning, and you know, that's RG, so they're doing well. But frankly, very, very tight rounds. Well, not that round maybe, but the previous round, very tight. And so I am not dismissive of Mayhem yet. They certainly still have a chance, though. Obviously, they do have to break RG here. Looks like, I'm not sure if it's RG or not who used the pause. Looks like, okay, yeah, so RG it looks like is using a pause. We have another 2-minute potty break here. And, yeah, let's check out chat for a second. Maxwell, I appreciate it. I was the best in both NA and EU. I'm glad that the community recognizes that. Bark, I 100% agree. Link is so old. I think he lives, you know, far, far away from me, but I think wherever he does live, I think he qualifies for Medicare, right? Doesn't he? Medicaid, whichever it is, Medicare. And so yeah, Maxwell, he is still doing. Link is still a beast to be reckoned with. He has taken a bit of a retirement, maybe you'd call it a sabbatical, but well, he's back. But once you're the grandfather of Insurgency, you know, some of that sticks around forever. Some of that is immutable. And so I'm not surprised he's still doing great. For those of you that did watch the matchup between Unexpected Predicament and Space Jam, was there any like wild plays or anything crazy that we saw over there? Anybody that get like a highlight reel clip that they can share maybe? It looks like we are almost ready to go. Nope, pause still going on. Players are starting to ready up, but not there yet. Hope everyone is enjoying. Glad we got at least one tiebreaker map. It's always a little depressing when you do a best of 3 and all of the different best of 3s happening are just 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Doesn't seem like it's as much of a, you know, close competition, but here we get a third map. Progressing at the glacial speed we all are used to in Insurgency competitive. Hope everyone's had a good summer. Not much going on for me. About to start some more classes. Probably should do my reading for those classes. But that's boring. Let's talk about the map a little more. Alright, so big thing we've been seeing, as I no-clip all the way through the walls. Dictator's been getting on B, but playing a very active role, and this is something I really like out of him. And I mentioned it a lot with Glanton on the first map. If you're a B player and you can stay active, holding sight lines, actually killing opponents, that's huge. Because a lot of teams, what they do is they send somebody on. Somebody's complaining about stream sniping. I don't know. I don't think anybody's stream sniping, but that's not my job. I'm on a 3-minute delay, and that's all that's required. That's actually more than required. I think it used to be 2 minutes was the baseline. But regardless, here's what I'll say. Dictator's been getting on B, actually getting kills. Glanton first map on Market was really struggling. He was getting on B, but he basically just puts his head in the sand. He stays safe, and that definitely contributes because you leave pressure on the objective, force the other team to find you and kill you. But it makes it almost like a 4v5. And this objective, smaller than the one on Mark, much less hard cover. No big concrete blocks, no big pickup trucks to hide behind. Almost all of this wood can be penetrated. Some of the low sandbags or grain bags can block bullets for real, but once they figure out where they are, they really can wallbang you. And frankly, I'm surprised that some teams don't choose to wallbang more. You can kind of just daka horizontally across these wood panels, and you'd be surprised. A lot of times you can get kills you wouldn't have expected, especially when you're using a rifle with AP, obviously. The big thing, besides the B play that we've been seeing, is a lot of rotating D captures. You're going to see a lot of A and C captures on this map, as I mentioned at the beginning, just because it's a larger map. But there's a lot of ways to slip through. It's a relatively controlled map, unlike the remake in Sandstorm, where it's just kind of opened on the edges. But it is a relatively controlled map. But even still, it's not too hard to sneak through, especially mid-round, late round. And so sometimes you have to make the decision to just sort of leave B, leave the rest of your teammates to fight over it, and sneak over to A or sneak over to C, start a cap progress, because that puts pressure on the opponent. And if both teams do that, usually the teams just let each other cap A, C, and hope to do better out of the respawns. And so a lot of rounds might be decided with how well each team is doing at spawn killing, because you can get very deep into the spawns. We saw my son in the school. You can get up here right in front of this big palace thing, and there's a lot of open ground over here, both in front of the school, like they've got to cross this street here, obviously. That's that's very hard to sort of get through. If somebody's waiting for you and you try and cross the open ground, you're just dead. Your teammates can try and refrag you, but that's both hard and also it slows everybody down, so very difficult. Apparently David, who goes by another name on screen as you can see, apparently David is restarting, and we'll be back in just a moment. So this is a technical timeout. This isn't a tactical timeout. When computer issues happen, you basically get, you know, within reason, as much time as you need to fix the problem because, well, this game is flawless and there's no bugs, and so people never disconnect or drop. And people's PCs are also flawless because we all only buy the best from totallynotaripop.com and, you know, take our $1 million PCs and never crash. So with equipment like that, it's hard to imagine why we would ever need a technical timeout. Mythic baiting a little bit, goading the enemies. Maybe that's a strategy. Maybe that's meant to frustrate the opponent, make them a little less effective, or maybe it's just goofing around. Alright. Yep, so I've been... Gerb's also communicating with me to just confirm, yep, everything is fricked, and we're going to be here for a little while. Because of David's internet. Yamato is telling me in chat that they all died to nades on A. I assume that's in response to my question about what happened last on the other matchup between Space Jam and PR. Can you tell me a little bit more? Like, what map are we talking? Which team? Any identifying information? I appreciate that you told me which objective. You could have just said on the objective, which would have been worse. Yeah, spin that out a little more. Give me a little more context. I'd love to know what the heck happened. Alrighty then. Gotta love this color palette here. This almost glowing yellow. Score currently, somebody's asking. You'll see it in 3 minutes. I apologize, but the score currently is 3-1. And here's your scoreboard. David will be rejoining us as soon as he figures out what's wrong with his PC, which is probably on fire, but who knows. Let's see if they have not. They're stuck in spawn, which is kind of unfortunate because if I was them, I'd be playing. Did they remove the TV? Did they remove the TV? I would be playing soccer with the TV. At least in vanilla servers, there's a TV on this table that you can kick around. Let me ask them if they. Actually, I don't know if they can see my chat, so I won't bother. But it's possible the Blue Discord, the mods they run on these servers make the TV disappear. It can be a little buggy, but it's also hilarious to kill time with. So, yep. Oy. Well, it's 2:30 Eastern now, and at this rate I think we should be done with this map by like 4 or 5 p.m., which would be nice. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, look, this is a competition first and a spectator sport second. We will let them fix whatever they need to fix so that they can actually play. There's no reason to mess it up. Force anybody to start when they're not ready. I know Space Jam had a lot of problems yesterday and that slowed them down a bit, but it is what it is. I am officially out of things to talk about. So, my internal monologue suggested karaokeing, and I've decided that's a terrible idea. Grinmore is mentioning in chat, so we had some scientists in the community who figured out that if you have better specs on your PC, this game actually runs worse. That makes sense. Maybe that's why I only get 30 frames. Just kidding. I do hope the quality on the stream is alright. My CPU is from like 2015 or something, so I built this computer in high school. That was quite a while ago, so it's probably time for a new one, but you know, time and money, so maybe not doing that anytime soon. We'll see. If anybody has a hookup on a cheap GPU that was only used to mine a little bit of cryptocurrency, feel free to let me know. But I actually think I just need a new motherboard and CPU, frankly. So, wonder if anybody else has cool computers. Yeah, Ministry Willie killed all of them for the A nade. Alright, cool. So, yeah. Well, if they do an A rush, if they do an A rush and you mess it up, you really do get nuked. So, I have some fond memories of wall-banging people. I take the M14 or the FAL and wall-bang on Ministry A, and that's what happened. Do not adjust your television sets. That Bing Bong was my Discord, not yours. Some nerd joined my private Discord channel. I don't know why they thought that was okay, but I'm muted anyways, so they won't get through. You might hear another Bing Bong as they leave. Doesn't matter. And, just gonna keep on waiting on the world to change. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Anybody played any other games recently that they like? I know BattleBit is all hot and steamy right now. I've heard a little bit about the new Call of Duty, not particularly interested myself, just because I've played one, I've played them all, but, you know, we'll see. 2019 was cool. What else is going on? I can't wait for Payday 3. A little bit iffy, I tried the beta a little bit. Not sure, oh, I had a lot of troubles in the beta with both, like, graphics and it was bugged, so I wasn't leveling up, but, not sure if it's gonna be everything I hope it is, but boy do I hope it is, because I loved Payday 2, and that game had a ton of flaws. So if they can fix half of them, I'll be happy. So yeah, Payday 3 coming out this fall. I'm sure there'll be a new Call of Duty, obviously. We know Modern Warfare 3 is coming. Not sure what else exciting is on the horizon. Anybody playing anything currently that they like? Please, give me something to talk about. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. I have received more confirmation from additional people in the Discord that David's computer is in fact having problems, or his internet, I guess, is having problems, so it is still the same situation, and I appreciate those people for communicating that to me, though I think it's pretty readily apparent. Always nice, though. Also, for anybody wondering, simply, oh, he thinks he's back. Django, true? Is it possible? And they've already got a sub, it sounds like, on the wings, if they really need it, which would be Groggy. And Mythic is also AFK, Mythic being the person that would approve the sub. Oy, oy, oy. It's a hard knock life for us. Copyright strike incoming, of course, because I'm just so good at singing you can barely tell the difference. My, you know, in my dreams I was almost a music major. Don't think I had the skill for it, but you know. So yeah, subs might happen if David's internet continues to be completely fricked. Probably not. Gridmore recommends PC Part Picker. Yes, indeed. That is my standard operating plan. I definitely am going to use that to check compatibility. Frankly, it's going to be a hot minute before I go through with it, but yeah. The rough part is, like, I think I still have DDR3 memory, so it's gonna, you know, I'm gonna have to get new memory because I know all the new motherboards are on DDR4 or 5 or 6 or whatever we are on now. Isn't like 5 or 6 in graphics cards and not memory sticks? I don't remember. At some point I knew much more about like hot and happening hardware, but frankly I just stopped caring at a certain point because I know whenever I do make a PC I'll do all the research, and remembering the Nvidia's graphics card numbering system is just mind-boggling, even though they don't do too bad. Rotini is asking about a co-cast with gems. Frankly, I'm too stupid to know how to co-cast, and all I would do is have another person sit silently in the room with me while I casted, because that's all I know how to do. if Gems wants to cast like simultaneously, he's welcome to do that. And if after this match ends, Gems and I talk and we figure out a way to like cast at the same time, we might do the finals for that. There is the possibility of a bronze medal match between whoever loses this and Unexpected Predicament. And if there's a bronze medal match, Gems and I will probably split again and have one of us do the bronze medal match and one of us do the finals, just so that everybody gets on stream. Looks like David is not coming back, and so Gerbs is running through options to try and ask what subs they would allow. The team that is not losing their player gets to approve or disapprove a sub. Basically, they get to judge whether the sub is equal or lesser skill than the person who's leaving. Hayes is getting mentioned for some internal community drama that I won't get into. He is a comedic choice. But they've mentioned some other people as well, and I'm sure they'll find somebody suitable in a moment. Grinmore mentioned Armored Core as a game he's been playing recently. Is that the tank game? Is that like the other World of Tanks, or is that something else? I can't remember. You're going to have to enlighten me a little bit. This whole talking with a 3-minute delay thing is going to be very exciting, I promise. But yeah, let me know what the heck Armored Core is. I know there was a tank game that I think had that name, but I could be mixing it up with something else. Oh, Gerb says David's coming back. So, and again, remember, ISPs are scum, and so if even if you don't currently have internet problems, just remember that you soon will, and you have before, and you know, any and all problems they can cause, you know, just sort of normal. Grinmore says I'm doing great, and I appreciate that. I actually have a funny story to share with the group. At least it's funny as much as it is sad. A million years ago, this little-known man named Masser and I, we planned a big tournament, an international tournament, in this here game, this Insurgency game that nobody's heard of. It was called the Gym World Cup, and we had about 20 teams sign up, and Masser was supposed to run the tournament, and I was supposed to run the tournament. We were like the two main people, and that was great. Then the day of the tournament, I woke up, and my ISP was just failing to deliver, so we had no internet. So I DM'd Masser on Discord, and I'm like, hey, I don't have any internet, so this is going to be difficult for me to really orchestrate, but I can still, you know, get on Discord on my phone, and I can, you know, help a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And Masser replies telling me he has had an unexpected family road trip occur. I mean, literally, it's a Saturday, and Masser just was not aware that he had a family road trip that day, somehow. So instead of helping, Masser is stuck in a car on his phone as well. So I pulled out my laptop, ran cellular data for basically the whole day, and that tournament turned into what is essentially the biggest pile of poo we've ever had. And some people still had a good time, but it was a huge mess because there was lots of delays and server problems and blah, 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 blah. And I tell you this story both to humiliate myself, but also to say that whatever's going on right now, we've had worse, and we got through it, and we survived, sort of. And now we're ready to go. So this is now live, and we're back to gameplay. Grinmore in chat says I'm doing great, and I appreciate that, buddy. My vocal cords are going to kill me tomorrow, though. I don't do any warm-ups, and I don't really have the experience, so. But back to gameplay we go. Let's see if Dictator's going to rush onto B again. Remember, it is 3-1, and RG is leading. This is the tie-break map of the 3-map set. Dictator slides under the pre-spray. It's across B, very aggressive position. He will be safe here. He's going to nade into Arch, it looks like. Seth gets the kill onto Nero in abs. Taken out by Seth as well. 2 kills from Seth. That's huge. And now Mythic going for the flank around the back. Gerbs gets 2 kills, now 3 kills in abs, so that's huge. That equalizes. So now it's back to a 2v2. Glanton on B applying pressure. Gerbs going to make motions. Doesn't seem like he knows that this is clear. They may not know how many he killed. He's now going to start peeking towards B. There is a player in Cafe that Gerbs can't see. His gun barrel is going to start to peek. Does Gerbs see the gun barrel? Gun barrel probably poked out there for just a smidge. They are approaching the B cap. Mai is able to get that kill. Kills Gerbs! So Mai killed David, who was up on the balcony, turned and immediately looked to support his teammate because Gerbs chose that same moment to peek. And I'll react to chat in a second, I'm sorry. Gerbs peeked at the exact same time that Mai got the kill on David, or that David was peeking, so my son turns and reacts. Gerbs gets the kill onto the B, but my son is able to refrag, and so therefore Mayhem gets the win. Quick chat react. Wooly's asking about the substitute rule. The substitute rule, again, all this is 3 minutes delayed, but I'm happy to talk. The substitute rule is whatever K-Lau says it is, ask him. My understanding was yes, anybody not on a different roster is eligible, subject to the opposing captain approving the identity. Apple Pie suggests that I both sub and cast simultaneously. Apple, you know how much I talk while I'm playing. I really don't think I can do much more than that, regardless. And then finally, Grinmore tells me that Armored Core is mechs, which does not interest me, and so I will talk about it no further. Back to the game. My son gets a kill on Balk, while Seth kills Dictator, and Gerbs gets Mythic. Let's go check in with Gerbs. Gerbs is playing B this round. Gets another kill onto Glanton. Sorry, I missed that. Gets another kill. Oh, doesn't get the kill. Totally whiffs on the kill against Seth. My bad. Meanwhile, David does kill my son, but it's still a 2v2 here. Django chilling on Cafe while David goes for a bit of a flanker-rooski. Tifcam, I have no idea how you do that link emoji, but it's cool. Okay. Django pushes onto B. David comes in to support, gets the kill on QR code, and then dips. Seth, good player, in cubby, has angles to work with, but needs to start moving. He's got about 15 seconds before the capture happens. If he peeks around, he probably will find this B player. Yes, he will see this B player, gets the kill. Now he can back off, but he can't leave B because B is still 75% capped. And as we see, they're going to crawl onto B. No, not crawl onto B. David is not crawling onto B. Okay, I thought he was going to. So now Seth gets on B, starts the decap. David has no audio cue to tell him that's happening. The only thing he'll get is when it crosses the 0 threshold and starts capping for yellow, he will get another audio cue. So that will give away Seth's location. But until then, Seth is basically just... he doesn't know exactly where David is. David at this point could have rotated to a lot of different places. We see that he is going to go, I think, apps. And, not apps, just tire. He might go C. Yeah, that is what's going to happen. I don't approve of this plan, though, because B is going to cap so much earlier than C. Seth is going to be able to run and almost fully cap A. And the point being, David can't sit. He can't sit on C. Or if he does, he'll barely have time to make it back to B, and that's going to be a disaster. So, this is tricky. No, that's not true. The run to A is longer than I mentally thought. So, he will get the C cap. And the respawn wave will be able to deal with Seth. So Seth's hold on A will be pretty huge here. Seth should hunker down and force them to rush out of spawn to come contest him. But the spawn wave that he got from B gets... I should have been over here already. I'm glad I didn't miss anything. David barely caps C and then is able to dip out. But he will get caught out by Glanton. So we're going to see a big rush of everybody. Oh, Seth gets a nice spawn kill before they're able to make it. He'll look for another one. Don't expose yourself. You got to finish the cap. No, he does expose himself. Sees one, doesn't get the kill. 60 second, gets that kill. So his teammate is going to cap C, and the players here on A from RG have to make it to B, not just clear A. So they've cleared A, that's fine, who cares? They've got to make it to B. So you're going to see a mad rush now. But I don't think they have time. They do not have time. The C cap will happen, and Insurgents will win. So that is another round for Mayhem. It seems like Mayhem is getting the better of this massive slowdown timeout we had. They've won 2 in a row, and I will... Well, not I will, but they are gaining all the momentum. They've pulled it back to even, and I'll be interested to see who keeps the momentum going from here on out, because RG they were doing well before the timeout, but maybe they all got cold feet or lost their magic juju when everybody sat down and took a chill pill for 15 minutes. So we'll have to see. Grinmore is challenging me to a 1v1, and I don't know. I don't play robot games. Sorry, man. But yeah, so big. We've seen Gerbs getting some great kills on the ground. Let's go check out with him. He's chucking a smoke onto B. He's chucking 2 smokes onto B. One over the top and one down below. And he's now going to push apps. Last round, so RG does a good job of shifting based on who spawns where, changing up who's going to go to what position. Gerbs is going to take a very passive position, which is another way of saying boring. Never mind. QR code will run straight into that death. Glanton looking for B players. Doesn't see anybody. He's doing some wall spraying and he's getting shots in return. Doesn't see anybody. Doesn't get hit. Bullets barely missing him. He does see that player barely through the smoke. Gets another! That one tap through the wall! I guarantee he has no idea. But that was just the last bullet in his mag or whatever, so gets that one shot. Unfortunately, he is alone here. His teammate is on A. So again, Mythic was able to sneak through. The capture progress on A is great. He's going to have to hold this, though, because RG, they're not going to come contest. They're going to get B, they're going to focus on C, they're going to go spawn camp. So, oh, Gerbs isn't even going to C. He's just going to spawn camp. That way the other team doesn't have any knowledge that he's pushed all the way up. So Gerb's likely to get an absolute slaughter here. And it'll be interesting to see if Mythic goes to spawn camp for B as well, or if instead, yeah, he does. Not sure running on the road out in the open is the right way to do it, but that's one way to do it. Gerb's deep in their spawn, but they're running by. They took different paths out of spawn than usual. Gerb's behind one of them, will get one kill. He's now called out. Enemy turns around. He gets Glanton as well. Mythic gets one kill on Dictator spawn camping though, but Gerb's has been able to lock most of them in spawn. Seth wearing armor is able to eat the MP5 shots, take out Gerb. Django and David both get kills. Django also spawn killing. Running away is going to get shot in the back, I think? No, he does make it to cover, but QR code is slipped through and will get to B. Meanwhile, RG is capping A, so they will have another respawn running. Django gets the kill onto MySun. Knows there's a player on B. Doesn't know exactly where. If he exposes to Arch, he's probably dead. Does expose to Arch. MySun gets the kill, but not MySun. Sorry, QR code gets the kill. QR code now has to look for these players coming to contest. If he caps B, he wins. He's got to look at Cafe. One's going to come through Cafe. Barely gets behind cover in time. Now looking at Arch, will get this kill, putting it into essentially a 1v1 on B, and dies and is not able to make it. Obviously, there were players respawning. They would not have made it in time. So if QR code gets that kill, he wins. And by getting the kill, obviously, Nero finishes the last player. And so RG takes that round. 4-3 is the score. Very close game. Still up for anybody. All right. Here's your scoreboard between rounds. Everybody doing pretty good. Recognize that David's kills are probably reset to 0, but his deaths are not. Welcome to the world of perfect bug fixing by the developers. So the kills are reset to 0 when he disconnects, but not the deaths. So he's got 4 kills probably since he reconnected. Maybe you start with 1 by default or something like that. So maybe he has 3 kills since the reset, but regardless. Everybody else doing pretty good. Mythic probably needs a little bit more. Mythic may have reconnected as well. I can't remember. MySun gonna hold garage. Looks like nothing going there. Seth gets an AK kill onto Nero. QR code for the second time running into Gerbs' face. Gerbs shooting a little bit at Apps, does not get a kill. The other player will prone out and watch the hallway. Nothing there for Gerbs to shoot. David gets taken out by Glanton. MySun now pushing. Will get the shot onto Django in Apps, and Glanton kills Dictator after Seth killed Gerb. Lots of fast kills coming in there at the end. Well spread out. The whole team contributing to Mayhem's victory, and they tie it up at 4-4. Oh, Grinmore challenged somebody else. Got it. Okay. Oh, we're challenging at, it's at 4 because of the whole mobile gamer thing. Ah, well, ignore my previous comments. This is all 3 minutes delayed, so, you know, you won't even have heard this when you hear my previous comments, but, yeah. Cool. Alright, so let's talk about this. Seth wearing heavy armor. He's playing a rifle position in, I think, Apt. That's a wall bangable position. He's likely to take hits through the wall, and the armor is going to protect him from that residual damage. Armor does very little against bullets if they don't hit any surfaces. A bullet flying through the air hitting you with armor will still kill you most of the time. However, it helps against 2 things. It helps against the MP5 because the MP5 shoots peanuts, and it helps against wall bangs because the wall bangs are already doing reduced damage. So you can eat sometimes 2 or even 3 shots through a wall if you're wearing armor. And again, it will help against those MP5 shots like Gerbs is using because frankly, the MP5 just shoots tiny little packy peanuts. Lots of kills happening. I'm too distracted to focus on it, but MySun has gotten all the way around to Cafe here. There is a player sitting in the Insurgent's arch. Yeah, that's a very awkward spot, but Gerbs was able to get that flank off, and so he is able to get the kill on MySun. Seth creeping down into Cubby will probably try and look for that player. Gerbs is already rotated. He might go back up to Apps through this hole. Now notice if he touches that glass, it will clink a little bit, but if he goes through the hole, he'll be fine. Looks like he's going to hold steady. Oh, QR code's going to zip over to A. Nobody capping B. Slight progress for the blue team. Now, who is this? Seth is on B. Seth gets taken out by David from the arch. QR code last alive on his team, but he's at A, and he is so far away, he will almost certainly get this capture uncontested. That's right. So David is going to get on C. Gerbs is going to touch B, basically just to get the progress going. He won't have time to cap it, well, at least not right away. But with David getting the C capture, unfortunately, they have to decide if they want to go spawn camp, and they're not going to spawn camp. David is going to use this long sight angle, which does let you see into their spawn a little bit. No, he's actually going to pull back. So he's not even going to spawn camp at all. QR code is going to come contest B. Doesn't see the player, though. He's behind the box, but Gerbs, using some sort of pixel peek, which is perfectly legal, does see one. Okay, David now called out, will get taken out from the window by Mayhem. He does cap Charlie in time, though, so he does have a respawn wave coming, but his team also capped B. So all the cap on C did really was give Mayhem an extra free respawn. So that's actually bad. He probably should have left C before capping. Gerbs defending B will kill this player if he comes out. He does not. The player goes around. Mythic does kill Django. Nero respawns, refrags Mythic. I doubt Mai will check tight right here, but if he does, it's going to be huge because Gerbs will fall. The C cap will come in, but time is expired. They've got to get on B. Seth gets the refrag onto Gerbs, but needs to turn around. There's one coming from, I think, Arch. No, Apps. There's also one sitting by the barrels, right? Oh, in blue. Oh, all the B players dead. Okay, so this is over because once they decap B, they lose. QR Code literally has to sprint onto B and hope he survives, and he still will not make it in time. So this round is over, unfortunately. But again, a very tight round going back and forth with the respawn. Both teams getting huge plays out of their players. And a little bit suspicious for RG to not spawn camp aggressively. Like, David sat in C, tried to shoot a little bit as he saw some people cross the open area. Didn't get any kills out of it. A little bit suspicious, but they managed to make it work on the back end. I didn't... Mythic choosing to rotate back to B is a real choice. Like, that's not a bad idea. But then when he doesn't see Gerbs and Gerbs gets the kill, that leaves A wide open, giving RG the exact same open respawn that RG gave to Mayhem. So both teams really not having to do a spawn camps that round, and that made both their lives a lot easier. Oh, right. In between rounds, I should give you a scoreboard, as I've been asked repeatedly. So here you go. Gerbs, lots of kills. Big spread on the objectives over here. As you can see, a few fewer objectives from these guys, but nothing too crazy. Pre-fire comes in as is usual. Players avoid it because they're professionals. Dictator chucks a nade. He's going to run onto B. Lots of smoke coming up. He has now gotten on. Sprays coming through once he touches. Oh no, they should not stack up that. Gerbs shoots Dictator in the back of the head as punishment for his crimes. Mythic gets a double kill. Fantastic down in tires. Gerbs now pushing across B. He's going to flank Mythic on tires. No, he's not going to go around. He's going to sneak over towards C, which is fine. Myson gets a kill on Django, and that leaves Gerbs as last alive. But that means that A and B are wide open, especially once he touches C. Now they know he's here. So you should see a massive rotate. Myson's going to cap. These guys should come challenge Gerb. They've got the numbers. One of them can sit on B. Seth is going to camp up, and these two are going to come challenge Gerbs. And that's because they've got the numbers. They know they got respawns coming. They might as well try and delay or even stop the C cap, obviously. If they get the kill, they win. But even if they just force Gerbs to retreat or contest the objective, that's fine too. Gerbs looks like he is not going to get the cap. The contesting is going to come, but then he will get the kill because QR Code not able to hide. Gerbs will go for the spawn kill. Notice he didn't reload. He's gotten 2 kills without reloading, but he has a 30-round mag. Does shoot pretty quickly though, so if he gets 2 enemies in his face, he may be faced with an ammo situation. Seth gets 1. Let's see if my son can get a double here. He's going to let them cross so that more of them are in view. Yes, sees 1. The concrete barrier blocks the other. My son does get the other. He's got to hide. Stands up instead. Gets killed. Gerbs killed 1 at least on this respawn, it looks like. And so now it is a 1v1. Seth versus Gerbs. But as soon as Seth steps on to B and gets this cap, he wins. Oh no, time's not out yet. 4 more seconds. But Gerbs is not going to make it in time. Really needs to... Yeah, he should not have stopped there. He paused to aim around the... and had no time to do that. I mean, it's obviously scary to just sprint towards B, but at that situation, you're out of time. You just have to do it and hope they aren't looking, because if you don't touch, you will lose, as has now happened. So, that is as even halves get. It is 5-5. The teams will switch and ready up again, and we will play our second half of this third map, tie-breaking for this matchup. Checking chat again. Yeah, Yamato, I'm not sure NWI is going to bug fix this anymore, but they especially could have for the years they were still updating it. Sad panda, but it's okay. And then Grinmore is saying fair and balanced. Yeah. I think you're referring to armor. I could be wrong, but armor is fair and balanced. The disadvantage is that it costs points, which is bad alone, because you don't get that many points in this game to spend on your equipment, but it also weighs you down. And weight not only slows your run speed, but it also reduces your jump height, though that's very minimal, so basically unnoticeable. But more importantly, it also reduces your ADS speed, and that is very noticeable. Especially if you're trying to snap aim onto somebody and shoot them. Just very, feels very sluggish to ADS and try and shoot somebody, so it can absolutely be the difference between life and death. recognize that as you ADS, you are still basically shooting center screen while the ADS animation is happening. However, because you don't have iron sights on your screen, it can be very difficult to know where the center of your screen is. But a smart player, a very experienced player, can just center their screen on the opponent, press trigger while they hold right mouse, and the whole ADS animation, you're still accurate to the center of the screen. David gets a kill on Glanton. Gerbs, again, playing aggressively. He's been doing this all game. He's got the 74 Uno, so he's going to push all the way into Cafe. That's a good flank from him. My son pushing balcony, though. QR code playing Balk. Oh, Nero pulls that pin, but he's making noise to do that. The nade doesn't get anybody. Gerbs does find Mythic using his flank. He's now going to go up to Balk. Might get shot from behind. My son kills Janko, then pulls back. Barely missing Gerbs' sight line. And it's a 3v1. Who is this over here? Not my son. Seth, face to face with somebody in apps. Gets one kill. He's going to pull back, focusing on staying alive. 3v3. My son just making sure Gerbs isn't able to escape and go to A. David is able to find the kill onto Seth. My son going to try and nade the B player, but that's the wrong nade. Will not find anybody. Also gets taken out. Oh, my son does nade Nero. My apologies. But Gerbs is able to kill him. QR code not going to contest B. This is the wrong choice. He's got 30 seconds. He's got it. No, he can't. He cannot go C. This is the wrong choice. He's going to lose now because even if he gets on A, even if he gets on C and tries to cap this, all the other team has to do is cap B and A. There's less than 25 seconds left, so by the time they cap A, the game will be over, and by the time he caps C, the round will be over. So he's just going to lose here. As soon as they touch A, yeah, he's going to leave. Like, he was hoping that they were just too stupid to go to A, I guess, but obviously this is a high-level game. He's also got to deal with these respawners. Kills one, which is great, but he's now got to go jump on B, and there should be one waiting for him. David is waiting for him, and so will murder him. And so that is a quick, well, not a quick round. That is a hectic round for RG, but they do pull out the win. So that is 6-5 for RG. But again, very tight game, could go either way. I will say that RG, with every round RG wins, I lean a little bit more in their favor, which sounds stupid because obviously the closer they get to winning, the more likely it is that they'll win. But I don't expect Mayhem to be able to pull a huge comeback. I think they need to stay even. If Mayhem can keep it relatively even within one round or tied, that's great. But if RG gets like a two-round lead here right out the gate to start the half, I think they're going to succeed because it's been too close a game all the way through. I don't think Mayhem has had the lead ever. Maybe they had it for like one round, but they're holding pace, but they're never going ahead. So it's a long-winded way of saying I think this round actually matters. If RG gets ahead, I don't think they'll be able to make it back. You're going to see this player crawl, maybe? No? Seth waiting for that player to expose, hiding just behind the corner. Oh, now he's going to make himself visible. He should be visible. Yeah, Nero takes a second to pull the trigger, but he does get the kill. My son does kill Django. Gerbs has made it into Cafe again. Almost sees a player laying out on the road, but the player, well, he didn't notice the player, even if he did see a sliver of him. Mythic chilling there. My son wasn't able to get to him, but my son competing. Gerbs now will kill Mythic as Mythic tries to go garage. My son knows he's here now. It's a 2v3. My son, again, has to worry about Gerbs going to A. Gerbs hasn't done it yet, but it's always a possibility. It's not really Gerbs' style, but they don't know that. Or they don't even know it's Gerbs necessarily. My son, last time he threw this nade, he got a kill. That one, not so much. That's going to land on balcony. He should know there's a player Dark Window from those gunshots. I'm surprised he doesn't react to Dark Window. Dark Window now going down, not going to confuse the balcony. Oh, I've got it backwards. Sorry, that was a teammate in Dark Window. Nero is across the way. So last alive now is QR code, who's going to get taken out from Cafe. I had it backwards. My apologies. And so now, 2 rounds up for RG, and as I said, I think that gives them a very comfortable lead. Like, they've obviously got to stay intent, but I don't see Mayhem getting a 3-round comeback. I just don't. I see chat reacting to a wallbang. Not exactly sure which wallbang. If it was the wallbang through the wood, that seemed like a one-tap to the guy's head. Yeah, that can happen, and it looks sus when you have the x-rays on, but you gotta remember, they shoot a lot of bullets at random spots all the time, and they hit nothing. So the one time it does hit doesn't necessarily mean it's you know, sus or unusual or anything like that. So have some faith, but regardless, it was a 6 shot, and if it's something else you're talking about, I'm sorry, but I'm sure that one was cool as well. My son's going to chuck an 8. He's been doing good work off of Balk, but they keep letting Gerb through, and frankly, oh, this time not so much. Gerbs isn't going to push. Nero doesn't find anybody in tires. Glanton holding Cafe. Gerbs is now doing the push. Let's see if he tries to push over to Cafe again or if he just waits in the weeds here. Seems like he's content to wait in the weeds. Seth takes out Dictator. Good opening kill. And Seth takes out OK from barrels, or maybe apps. Yeah, it was apps. That's fantastic. Oh, he even finds the player at the bottom of the stairs. That's a very off angle to be holding. And it's huge. That's 3 kills for Seth. Spraying at Cafe, which is a nothing burger. Django is on Valk. I wouldn't be surprised. Seth throws some shots that way, but is not able to find him. Nero waiting at the bottom of Cubby. Seth, if he goes down Cubby, he's going to find an enemy. But look at this. Django at A. And unfortunately, there's no one in range to stop him. QR code misses the cross. Django can now stay hidden. Seth now is going to go down Cubby, but there's a player there waiting for him. He's holding a flash. Doesn't know he's there. We're going to see Glanton. If Glanton kills A, that's huge. Oh, they're on C as well. I missed that. Okay. So Mayhem are capping C, and now he's able to contest A. This is huge. Glanton able to just camp. Django definitely has the pressure, has to go hunt him. Though, one sec. Bit of a sneeze there. Sorry. Nero also able to contest C. This can go on for a long time, but remember, QR code is free. He's capping B. The RG players have the impetus to actually make a move, because otherwise they're just going to be flooded with other players. Knows he's there. Oh, the Glanton shoots. Oh, Glanton gets the wall bang. Nice kill. That means Nero has to push. Has like no time. Needs to push 10 seconds ago. He's got to run straight to B. He has to do some magic ping-ponging between objectives, because remember, if 2 objectives are ever uncontested and capped for blue, the Mayhem will win. He's going to turn this corner, and he won't check left. Oh, it doesn't matter. He does see the gun barrel there for a second, but A was decapped in time that he was not able to make it to B regardless. Oh boy, what a round. Very strong round out of Mayhem, not even close. Glad to see that out of them, but we are going to need to see more rounds of that. Now, I said I didn't think they were going to make a 3-round comeback. We'll see. Obviously, I could be wrong. It would be a delight for this game to be close. We'll just have to wait and see. Sorry for any of my bug textures. I have 1,000 mods that I've deleted and reinstalled a million times for random servers, and so kind of everything in this game is jank at this point. Similarly, that's why I've got circles instead of squares. No, that's not some setting you can change. I genuinely don't know what custom co-op server downloaded that. I cannot uninstall it. I've tried multiple times. But I've grown to kind of like them. The squares are weird to me anyways now. I've gotten used to the circles. Feels more natural. My son gonna check his nade up in the bow. Just keep somebody from rushing. QR code gets Gerbs. It's a huge opening kill from QR code. Stops Gerbs from doing his aggressive play, which we've become so accustomed to. Django is going to creep up here, basically just hold the top of these stairs, no need to push. Seth did some excellent work in apps last round. Oh! Sees the player, gets the kill onto Nero. Seth, I'm calling it already. Seth MVP for this map if they win. Holy moly. Django finally has crept over to Balk. He's going to nade the big doorway, but there ain't nobody there. Mythic below is now flanking around towards Barber and Arch. Django heard him, I think, and so is going to go hunt him down, but he's hidden around the corner. Look at this. Mythic out of view, out of sight, will not be found. Glanton going to get on B. This is a bit of a risk, but it's a 4v3. Seth kills David. That's huge. Dictator sprang at the window to try and refrag Seth, but Seth has already dipped out. Heard this player, may find him. Oh, Django kills Glanton. Oh, yes, Seth heard Dictator shoot. Rotated to check him. Oh, terrible timing for Django to flinch and look away. So QR code is able to get him, even though probably if Django had just held his aim, he would have been able to take QR code out no problem. Still would have been difficult in a 2v1. But that's another great round out of Mayhem, and they have equaled it up to 7-7. I see in chat Maxwell's clarified he was never accusing anybody of hacking. I apologize, but yeah, it was pretty nutty. Ballistic Waffles, I understand that that's like the Ballistic is talking about how the FAL with AP keeps a lot of damage even through 2 walls. I agree. It's a bit more nuanced than that, but yeah, the battle rifles, the FAL, the L1A1, and the M14, they have a much higher damage period, and they also have a much higher damage through walls, and also a ability to penetrate thicker walls. So those will do a ton of damage. Regular 5.56 and 7.62 39 rifles, the AKs and the M4s and things like that, a little bit less damage through walls, and so that's when you start to see. That's when you start to see the armor coming into play and people surviving wallbang shots and stuff. Ooh! My son, seeing the opponent, not getting the kill, will wait for him to peek back around the corner. Oh, looks away at the wrong time! Peekaboo, peekaboo, nobody sees each other. My son doesn't get the kill. Also, Nero kills Glanton, so 3v5. Seth is going to peek. But hears him, but doesn't react in time. Dictator's going to kill. Things are quickly falling apart for Mayhem this round. This is not going to go their way. Mythic left last alive, hoping against hope somebody basically walks in front of him so that he can get a kill for free. Not going to happen. And so he's going to be forced to rotate. It's going to be very difficult. He's also probably going to get heard as he does this. I would not be surprised if we see... Yeah, Gerbs probably just heard that and called it out. And so Dictator's going to go up to the apps window and stare at balcony, if I'm not crazy. Yep. And take him out. Ta-da! I've played this game a little bit. Anywho, QR code, whoever it was that was last live, Mythic, I think, unfortunately goes down. It is now 8-7, still very, very, very close. And, you know, we will just have to see... basically, if Mythic can ever get ahead. They keep tying, they keep making it even, but they've not been able to get ahead by one, and we just need to see, you know, what's going to happen. Kalo in chat is saying the circle objectives might be a console command. If it is, I don't know what it is or how I got it enabled, and I don't really need to change it, but I would love to know the console command, so feel free to look it up. Apple is replying that he thinks it's just a mod, so, who knows? But I definitely have tried disabling it, and I have not figured out how. But I don't really care at this point as well. David with the FAL is going to do a big pre-spray. On my screen, it looks like he's shooting the ceiling. On his screen, it's probably a little bit more recoil control. Spectators are not perfect. Seth gets a nice kill onto Nero, and I will try and check him out. He is actually playing... Oh, he doesn't look to his right! What? Is there not a player just next to him? Yeah, Gerbs just completely missed it. He's gonna... Okay, yeah. Seth, I don't know how Seth escaped Gerbs. Gerbs just probably blinked or opened his map. Regardless. Oh, Seth now walks out in front of David. That's unfortunate. 2v3. Mythic and Cafe does not see that player in apps. Also, player on balcony is going to slow creep to dark window. Or maybe come staircase. Oh, is he going to come staircase? He is. He doesn't see the player in Cafe, but now that the shots are heard, QR Code and Mythic both get kills. And so QR Code in dark window is able to look down at the Belk stairs, get the kill onto Django, win the round. And so that is now 8-8. Holy moly, it just continues. We are tight as tight can be. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you recognize just how close this game is and how exciting this is. Besides the whole like 15-minute pause for David to get his hacks together, his internet together. Besides that long pause, I really can't imagine a more exciting game. This has been... Most of these rounds are quite close, and if they're not close, they're still fast. So, yeah. Fast, 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 fast. Lots of action. We've been seeing a lot of good early kills out of Seth. Let me find him. Oh yeah, I've been not showing you guys the scoreboard. Bad me. Sorry, here you go. Hey, Gerbs has broken the 30 bomb. Seth not far behind. Glanton struggling. Mythic struggling a little bit. And then, even though he lost some of his kills before he disconnected, he's back up to 13, David is. Let's see what Seth can pull out. He needs to have a good round up here if they're going to have a chance to win. Oh, looks like he's going mad bum rush. No! Okay, he does get the kill on Dictator. Dictator almost able to duck and dodge. Glanton kills Gerb, so I was trying to get a spectating onto. Now, Django's going to chuck this flash. A person is prone. I think that's my son. Or maybe it was a nade. Who knows? A person is prone on Valk. This is the nade. No. And so, oh, my son hits him, doesn't get the kill. Now he does. The nade not thrown, so will not get the kill. Elsewhere, somebody else died. So Nero, second to last alive. But David is alive, was able to sneak around. Will get one kill when the elbow gets exposed. But he is going to get this cap, but unfortunately B is going to be capped first, and he's not in a position to really spawn camp. My son also going to try and come challenge A. Will get there before the spawn wave, and because they're already capping C, it's no big deal if he dies. Oh, sees the gun barrel and is able to get the kill. So, for the first time, I believe this whole game, Mayhem leads 9-8. What a change, ladies and gentlemen. They were able to make a little bit of a comeback there. It was 7-5. Now they're up 9-8. I think RG's in the hot seat. They've got to win. I mean, obviously, if they lose another round, it's at least 10 rounds and they'll be going to overtime. But, man, just think emotionally and mentally what they are dealing with right now. They were leading or tied the whole game for the first time in the last few rounds. Now it's just the last few rounds, and for the first time they're losing. I don't know what they're going to adjust. They've got to figure out a way to stop Seth on apps. Obviously, you can't just bum rush every time, so he's going to have to change things up. They've also got to figure out a way. Gerbs has not... I'll look at Gerbs real quick. Gerbs has not done his bum rush strategy for, like, the last several rounds. I don't know if they consciously decided to stop doing that or if Mayhem, it was able to put a stop to it. I know one round, several rounds ago, they were able to kill Gerbs as he crossed B. Lots of nades getting chucked over the top. I'm not particularly sure these are useful, but they get thrown. Well, I should maybe talk less, because Gerbs gets a kill with the frag, then gets taken out, unfortunately. Seth also getting a kill. Good work in apps again. Chucking another nade. Probably doesn't know he got the kill. Lots of wall bangs are hard to figure out. Glanton chilling in the smoke, vaping. He's able to get some capture progress on B. My son, a little too concerned about Django going A when Django was already rotated around to back off. Seth is going to provide support for Glanton here. Oh, almost sees the player Arch. Peeks away at just the wrong moment. It's okay, holding Cafe. They don't know Django's rotated. Django popping onto B, will get the kill onto Glanton, but should get killed from behind. Yes, Seth refrags. Doesn't know there's a player in apps. Needs to stay safe by staying close to the building. Does get the B cap. My son now going to look at apps. Looks at the wrong window. Sees the gun barrel to the left. Sprays, misses. It's okay, though. Seth is able to just hold things steady. 40 seconds. It's just David left. And again, Mayhem has respawned. So they've got 3 more people coming out of spawn going A. And Seth was able to make it to C. So David is completely screwed. He's got to go kill Seth and then sprint back to B. And let me tell you, this ain't happening. It'll be a modern miracle. I'll eat my hat. Yeah, he's got to peek in, try and get very quick kills. Seth is in an excellent position, hiding. Hard to get a visual on him. He's going to take way too long. Great kill, but David, has to turn around and immediately run to B. I'm not even sure 15 seconds is long enough to get there. Even if he does get there, he's sprinting onto the objective, and look who's waiting for him. Mythic knows the quickest way to get here is right through Arch. David gets the kill, though! David, he stops to pick up a weapon! What are you doing? You can't stop to pick up a weapon. I don't care if you're basically out of ammo. You gotta sprint. He gets killed by QR code in the end anyways, but I don't think he even had time. Even if QR code wasn't even there, I think once he stopped to pick up the weapon, even without picking up the weapon, he may not have had time, but he had to sprint. He had to try and touch, because without the touch, he just loses. And just like that, Mayhem is up 10-8. This is do or die. RG has to win 2 in a row to force overtime, which will be a 6-round mini-game where they play 3 on each side. But RG's got to win 2 in a row to get there. And I mean, these last 3-4 rounds have been a massive shift. I don't know if it's that Mayhem's making the adjustment, if RG's fingers are tired. You say, I say that, it's not a joke. Like, you actually can get fatigued on these longer matches and stuff. But, you know, reaction time's everything. But yeah, whatever Mayhem's doing, it's working. And, I mean, look, RG's got to pull something out. Let's see what they got. David's going to do the spray. I don't think he's gotten a kill the whole game doing that. Might be time to put it down. Seth gets an opening kill on Nero. He's been fantastic. Bails out of tires. Goes back to apps. Gerbs gets a nade after David got a kill with the FAL. That's interesting. So it makes it back to a 4v3. Mythic holding garage. Nobody pushing garage though. David is able to get on B in a relatively protected spot. QR code holding the apps door. Django's going to rotate around. Seth finds another kill on Gerbs. Oh, I'm sorry for covering that action. Django gets a kill onto Mythic. Trying to just figure out where things are going to be happening, but I shouldn't have blocked that. Seth flanking around. He's going to try and find the B player. They should stop this cap. They hear him. Yep, they're going to look. Django's going to kill him, so they know it's just QR code. Now, QR, aim a little lower. Shoot him. But the B cap happens. The kill happens after the B cap. It won't matter now, but the kill happened after the B cap, so he didn't respawn. Unfortunately, for QR at least, or for Mayhem, Dictator is able to refrag, and so that makes it 9-11. Blad Barbara asks, what game is this in the best of 3? This is the 3rd game in the best of 3, so the winner of this will advance. Gooey asks, why is every score like 11-1 or 11-2? Well, it's not. Most of the games have actually been close. I know Space Jam did beat the pants off Unexpected Predicament last, in their final map on Ministry. And last map here on Station, Mayhem was pretty decisive. But our first map on Market was very close, and so is this one. So, yeah. Here we go. Gerbs had a good round last round. Seth had a pretty good round, but it wasn't enough. Django had a really good round. That made the difference. It all comes down to this. RG's in win or go home mode. And, well, let's see what they choose to do. Oh, not double play onto Balk, maybe. Or I guess, no, that's just the regular split they've been doing. Smoke onto apps. Smoke on the Balk is interesting. My son chokes the shot, not able to kill Django. Now he's able to go for the flank. Seth playing passively. Hasn't gotten a kill yet. Oh, David picks up Glanton. Mythic is able to refrag, but gets refragged himself by Gerbs. Seth gets Dictator clears apps. Gerb's looking for that kill. It's not there. Seth creeping back down. QR Code is able to pick up Django. That stops the flanker. That's great. Oh, fantastic for QR Code to get Gerbs, but it's not in time. Seth still goes down. It's now a 1v1. QR in a 1v1 against whoever this is, Nero. In blue. They're going to see each other. Oh, no! Nero gets the kill. We're going into OT, ladies and gentlemen. 10-10. Nero clutches, tying the half, and we are going to a 6-round overtime. Holy moly. And we will play as many 6-round overtime sessions as it takes for a winner to be decided. If they tie 3-3, we'll just do it again. Holy cow. Well, it really can't get closer than this. Oy, ay, ay. Sorry, I gotta drink a little bit of water. I'm gonna be dehydrated. Oy, ay. Alright. We are gonna get started promptly here, no big delay. The teams stay on the same side they finish the half in. So, Mayhem is still the security. RG is still the insurgents. David here with a pistol, not using his regular battle rifle. He is going to rush, and we'll have to see if he makes something out of this or basically just gets wiped. He is out in front. It's good timing so far. If he bumps on anything, it's going to be trouble. But if he runs through B, this could be devastating. Bumps a little bit. He's going to go Balk instead. He's going to rush Balk. This could work. Depends on who's there to meet him. QR Code and Seth both getting opening kills. That's risky. Now he is going to get to this barn door, but there's a player coming in return. He's going to peek, and he's going to get the kill on my son. That's huge. Now QR Code at this window. If he... Oh, QR Code's dead to the nade. That's huge, because otherwise David would have exposed. Yeah, unfortunately, that gunfight's a little difficult at that range. Seth is able to get the kill. Gerbs might be last live. I'll check in a second, but he's fumbling with this gun on the ground instead of shooting the guy in garage, and that leaves Nero as last alive. Now remember, it's a 6-round game, 3 on each half. Much harder to make a comeback. Oh, exposes to Balk. Balk is going to take him out. That's mythic. And so Mayhem goes up 1-0. Every round is huge here because there's so few rounds in the overtime. Every round is huge. You basically have to win. I mean, you have to win 4 out of 6, obviously. But you need to win the majority of both halves. Again, that doesn't sound too, special. Or you can go 3-1, obviously. But because the halves switch so quickly, there's a lot less time to adjust your strategy, and it feels a little bit more random sometimes because both teams are just kind of throwing whatever strat they think is best. There's not 5 or 6 rounds to sort of slowly adjust and incrementally change what you're doing to fit the other team's strategies. Now, in the opposite sense, you've already played both halves for 10 rounds, so you kind of already know what the other team is doing. So, it goes both ways, but just always a little bit of a different dynamic when you're only dealing with 3-round halves. Being told it's not pronounced gooey, and I don't care. And I'm being told the circles are dead. That would make sense. I think I played the mod at some point. Oh, very passive positioning from RG here. Mythic gets the opening kill on Dictator, though. Nero slides across the hallway. A little bit risky there. Oh, gets taken out by Seth from... Seth, again, been great this whole game from down in apps. There is another player in apps with him, unless he just went down to Cubby. Yeah, he has gone down to Cubby, so nobody there for... Oh, he's going back up to try and fight Seth. I don't think peeking this is smart. Oh, nade at the last second. Gerbs is going to get... Oh, no, he isn't going to get around the corner. It bounced around the whole way. 2 to... Oh, and my son... No, last person alive is David. He will get through tires, but it's a 1... I think it's a 1v5, right? Oh, my lord. This is just terrible. No capture progress. Now they will step on B. But still, going up 2 rounds would be just insane this early in overtime and would really put the pressure on RG. He's going to try and rotate around. He needs to find kills. He can't just get on A. There's not enough time left in the round. Apparently nobody told David that, though. With 30 seconds left, there isn't time. By the time he caps, there'll be like 4 seconds left. Yeah, now his team has figured it out. So he's going to leave, and they're going to cap B. Oh, nope, he gets taken out, and that's the round anyways. But yeah, there was no way sitting on that capture was ever going to work. Touching it just gives away your position. It's a difficult situation no matter what, because it's a 1v5, but I think there your smart play is just hunt for kill, try and hopefully get 2 quick kills in succession, and then have the rest of them trickle into you 1 at a time so you can kill them all. But, yeah, the A play was never going to work. Mayhem would have sent one to C, they would have capped C and B, and then they would have just spawn killed the heck out of RG, even if they had capped A. Not even talking about the fact that the spawn wave wouldn't have gotten out of spawn in time to actually do anything before the round ended. So, tricky. It's so rough. I mean, you have to keep the time in your head, and a difference of 20 seconds can be huge because it gives you the difference between having the time to cap and let your team get out of spawn, or cap and your team is still not able to reach an objective. All right, let's see. David sneaks by the pre-fire. He's gonna go Balk again. This worked pretty good last round. He was able to get one kill. Seth gets a double nade in apps. He is winning the game for his team. David able to get the kill. Now again, okay. Not okay, sorry. Whoever it is, QR code is in Balk window. He's now gonna rotate around slowly, but he's making noise, so he should know. But there's QR code finds David. Who is that in the window? Oh, QR code gets the kill on the Dictator. Last alive is Gerbs. Now, if anybody was going to clutch, I would believe in Gerbs, but there's no way. Oh my lord. What a decisive victory. What an absolute decisive victory. So that is 3 rounds, the entire half of overtime victory by Mayhem. RG needs to now win 3 in a row or they will lose and be sent to the bronze medal match, while Mayhem advances to the final championship match. What a spectacle. That is insane. Yes, Sanctus, I see others are recognizing that the pickup mechanics are new, as Gerbs was trying to pick up that gun and got shot. Yeah, it's a new mechanic, new game, only been out a week. The teams have been really grinding to try and figure everything out. But yeah. Outlawed, please fix. Vinny, we don't talk about that project anymore. Oh yeah. And again, you'll all hear this in 3 minutes. I hope everybody's having a good time. But here we go. Remember, RG has to win 3 in a row. And I mean, that's gonna be tough. Let's just put it that way. That's gonna be tough. But anything's possible. We've seen crazier things. Oh yeah. Let's see what they do. Gerbs sent to the back of the bus. He is not going to get an aggressive play off this round, that's for sure. Who's in the front? Looks like my son is at the front. He's going to slide, waste a little bit of time doing that, and get taken out by David. Great cross pick to begin. I don't know if that's visual or if that's a pre-spray, but the fact that he only shot a little bit makes me think he could actually see that. Spray coming in through the smoke. Nobody gets hit with it. They're doing a double rush into blue or across B at least. And let's see if I can find Gerbs real quick. Where'd he go? Oh, Gerbs taken out by Seth and Apps. I think Seth just has decided that Apps belongs to him. Nero taken out by QR code. Dictator does kill Mythic, but Seth able to get Dictator. They don't know the other players on B, and so they do get the cap. Django is able to get the cap. I guess Seth's kill was too late anyway, so there's 5 up. Django still chilling. Glanton, come on, switch. Glanton's up top. QR code gets a kill at spawn, goes for the other, does not get the second. So Glanton now looking for 2 spawn kills. There's one right below him and one across the street. Django rotating to go for C, and it looks like Seth will go and meet him. The glass breaking below tells Glanton that, well, David probably broke that glass to psych him out. Glanton running now, probably made some noise. Oh, he's going to sprint down here. I don't think that's the right choice. Seth didn't go and contest C. Instead, he hopped on B. Glanton finds a kill, though. He's going to run to A. He's going to get refragged in the back. But that tells Seth where... Oh, no, don't expose to Gerbs! Why would you run out? Get the cap, you ding-dong! Oh, he can't. He's out of time. He has to contest an objective. And you see the armor eating MP5 shots because the MP5 shoots peanuts. Now, B is contested. He has 10 seconds. He will be able to touch A, but he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to stay here. He has to go back to B because he has to find... Oh, no, the respawn wave's coming. I forgot. Seth's screwed. Yeah. Seth is screwed. Holy moly. Well, that's a good round out of RG. And again, you saw Gerbs dumping bullets into Seth there at the end, but the armor protecting. The MP5 is one of the only weapons that is really... I don't want to say it's neutralized. You will still get kills, but it is heavily, heavily, heavily nerfed when you're wearing armor like that. It just makes it impossible... Not impossible, but very slow to get kills, especially if you're shooting people in the arms and legs. The arms and legs isn't protected by armor, so I guess it's not the arms and legs. I don't know what happened. Point is, the MP5 gets completely dumped on by armor, and we saw it right there. I think I saw Seth take 4 shots. Anyways, 1-3 in overtime. RG still needs to win 2 more in a row, and that was by no means an easy round. But obviously they managed, and Well, we just got to see. I mean, I say it now, I say it again. Seth MVP for this whole game if they win. By a long shot, because holy moly his kills. David does not get the pre-spray. QR code is going to hide behind this little generator. Gerbs is going to push across B. Nobody spots him because the smoke is up. He's going to... This is an interesting spot. Django is able to kill Glanton on B. If Seth peeks this window above, he's going to kill Gerbs because Gerbs can't see the window. But he doesn't. Nero gets QR code. These are good kills from RG. Mythic able to start equalizing. Oh, no. Mythic runs out onto the road and gets murdered. Seth exposes to Gerbs behind him for a second. Doesn't get the kill. Now Seth gets the kill. That is before the cap, unfortunately, so Gerbs will have respawned. My son with a nice double, though. Now he's going to dip away. Give me back to Seth. He wants to find this B player, and he will if he just looks. He will see him. Open your eyes! There he is. All right, and that makes it a 2v2. Two people exiting spawn. My son and Seth on B, and Seth has started to cap. My son will try and hold the arch. Seth probably should look at the arch. Hello. My son should watch Cafe behind him. Is he going to turn around? Is he going to see the arch player? He will see the arch player, but turn around! Guy in Cafe! Oh, David's going for the wall bangs, and that's giving away his position, so now everybody's looking right at him. He's going to step forward and gets one! Gets the... Oh! Does not get the other! He had the shot! Obviously... Oh, no. QR code and then respawn. But, man, he would have had a real chance if he'd gotten that kill. But that was not meant to be. And that is your game, ladies and gentlemen. With 46 kills. Seth leading his team to victory. 37 by Gerbs. No small task either. But, yeah. Holy moly. Mayhem winning. RG will now be demoted and sent to play against Unexpected Predicaments for the bronze medal, while Mayhem faces off against Space Jam here momentarily in our final championship best of 3. I need a minute, so I am going to put you guys on a little bit of a hold screen. Please stick with us. Help is on the way, and I will have another cast of the final matchup for you here in just a moment.